My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you've ever wondered if you can pull off cowboy boots, then you should pull on a pair of Tacovas. Comfortable right out of the box and available in dozens of timeless men's and women's styles. Their handcrafted boots are ready to put the world at your heels. When comfort leads, confidence follows. And Tacovas delivers both right to your door. Visit Tacovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com. And don't go gently. You'll love where you're headed.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 19, Episode number 4077. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are in the Men's Room. Well, Ted, today it is a random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: delicious cereal and baseball. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, the Men's Room Shout of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Clack, clack. Drinking and drunk. All right, here we go. Man on a train to Death Island finds out how it got its name. Meanwhile, 2 women attempt a 500-mile journey in a toy car for a new world record and fame. UFC fighter bites off more than he can chew. A man busted stealing $9,000 in Spam coffee and brew. And Walmart should have let that man with one leg take the electric cart. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, most of the time, you know when you're up to no good or if you're doing something illegal. Now, it's not always like drug dealing and murder, of course. We're talking about laws like speeding and underage drinking. But here's the thing. Sometimes you actually break the law, but you don't even know that you're breaking the law because you didn't know it was a law, right? Anyone here ever gotten a lap dance at a strip club here in Washington State? You broke the law. Strippers are legally required to be at least 4 feet away from you. Have you ever been to Linden, Washington? had a few drinks, and decided to dance. That's illegal, punk. That's right. They're living a footloose lifestyle there. And in Wilbur, Washington, don't even dream of riding an ugly horse. It is, in fact, illegal to ride an ugly horse in Wilbur. Of course, there's the question, who makes the judgment call on whether or not your horse is ugly? And if you didn't know, you get your feelings hurt. But now you do know. So that said, there's plenty of times that we do know we're doing something wrong. This past Saturday, UFC fighter Andre Lima, he won his fight against Igor Severino because Severino got himself disqualified. What did he do? He bit his opponent. Guess what? Turns out you can't do that in the UFC. But then you knew that already. He knew that already as well. And look, sometimes those things that are legal, but maybe you avoided doing it because you thought it was against the law. Like, have you ever wanted to drive naked? You perfectly legally can. The problem is getting in and out of your car if anyone sees you. But if you drive around naked, you can drive around naked. Who the hell knew? Let's see. You want to marry that cute cousin of yours? Go ahead. And, of course, if you ever want to bury a deceased loved one in your backyard, grab a shovel and get digging. Just check the zoning laws, but perfectly legal to do that. These are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of a random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
To be a part of the big show, the random question, call 206-803-ROCK. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood. Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Are you ready to take the next step in your career? King County, a leader in government services, is on the lookout for talented individuals to join our team. King County offers an inclusive, welcoming work environment where innovation and creativity thrive. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting your journey, we have positions that could be a perfect fit. Competitive salaries, excellent benefits, and career development are just some of the perks you may receive. Visit our website, kingcounty.gov/careers, and join King County. Thrive where you work.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the toes, away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4077. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future reboot. That is a fact. Your guess is as good as mine coming up. Oh boy, do we got some categories for you today, Steve. I know how much you love cereal.
Well, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Grabbed 2 boxes yesterday, in fact.
We have the top 10 favorites breakfast cereals of all time. Actually, we have a list of 20.
All right.
If you get 10 out of the 20 correct, you will win in that category.
I feel like I could do that one.
You would be surprised some of the more popular cereals that I didn't realize were as popular
Grape Nuts or something?
You know what? Thank God, no.
Okay. Then I feel better about the list.
They are not on the list.
I feel like that's the cereal you eat because your doctor said eat these or die.
It makes the list more credible. Same with like not having Life cereal on here.
Right.
Or just generic, regular old cornflakes. Growing up, everybody had a box of just cornflakes. If you had Frosted Flakes, man, that was the house you wanted to be at. Cornflakes suck.
Well, my parents, they eventually broke and started buying us Frosted Flakes only because when they bought Corn Flakes, they realized they went through sugar a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm. That's what I remember. If you had Corn Flakes, it meant the jar of sugar was out, too.
And these are very sugary cereals. Like, for an example.
Yes, favorites.
Rice Krispies is not on here.
Of course not.
I mean, some of the most basic things that you grew up with do not make this list. So it kind of leans more sugary, but the top 10 favorite breakfast cereals. That is one of the categories. And as we get set for a little Major League Baseball Thursday here, opening day in Seattle, the 10 greatest baseball players of all times. I will tell you this, if I look to see who maybe put this list together, it would be someone of the baseball mentality of, say, Bob Costas.
I would say Bob Costas.
Bob Costas.
So old.
Right. These are
no one's done it the way they used to do it since 1963.
There's a couple players on here that we have actually seen play baseball in our lifetime. Other than that, most of the list, not so much. So the 10 greatest baseball players of all times or the 10 favorite breakfast cereals. Those are your categories coming up with your guess is as good as mine. Hopefully, speaking of baseball, we do have some locations. The beer will, in fact, be in T-Mobile Park. We'll give them to you. And all the other locations that you found over the weekend. And thank you so much for all the emails. We got a ton of emails, people updating us with locations where they found the new Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing over the weekend. So please keep sending those in. Just shoot those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com. We'll give more of those coming up this afternoon and more locations hopefully close to you where you can pick up the beer.
See if you can find any in Greenwood. Literally, the top text says, all the gents. I went to about 9 different stores in the Greenwood neighborhood on Saturday. No sign of the new beer anywhere in the advice.
Well, Castle lives
leave
there.
Greenwood.
And I know he was seemingly picking some up at the Safeway by his house.
I think the one on, so if you're in Greenwood,
QFC.
I think there's a Safeway on Holman Road. Basically, if you know where Greenwood is, make a left at Greenwood and Holman Road, go down the hill. The bottom of the hill is Papa Murphy's or Safeway, a couple other things. But I believe that Safeway has our beer in it.
Okay. So we'll have some...
I think that's the Crown Hill Safeway, not technically the Greenwood Safeway. I think.
Yeah, right, because it's tough.
But it's right there.
Those little neighborhoods change so quickly.
Oh, from Finney to Greenwood, you can tell the difference then?
Price of the houses?
Price of the house. That's exactly
You got a view.
Yeah, you got, Greenwood. Someone says, well, you're in Finney now. And you go, man, how can you tell? Because, basically, I don't know what the absolute definition is, but they say, when the housing prices go up by $100,000, you're not in Greenwood anymore.
Think about it this way,
even though it looks exactly the same.
Think about it this way geographically. If there were to be a huge water pipe burst or dam or something catastrophic were to happen, Greenwood, underwater.
Yeah.
Finney Ridge. Looking at their neighbors
Right.
on the hill, underwater. So it's a bog.
Yeah, but you can still go down in Finney Ridge, down to like Green Lake.
Yeah. And you know how the neighborhoods change depending on where you say you live. Like, we always joke around, like, our part, it's like, live in Northgate. I live in Maple Leaf.
Well, here's the difference.
They just try to sound fancy.
Oh, yeah.
I live in Northgate until I have to put my house on the market, then I'm in Pinehurst. Because that's the entire difference, right?
There's a line of snootiness that happens between Fremont and Wallingford. It's a fog.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can actually see it.
Even you're right next to each other.
I've lived in both neighborhoods, man. Fremont, fun, people, nice, polite, like to go out, like to have a good time. And then there's this layer right over Stone Way that turns into just... And you're like, oh, God.
I'm in Wallingford.
Get me out of here.
And then you border the U district.
I lived there for like 7 years. 8
You're
years.
not in Magnolia. You're in Interbay.
Yeah. Come on. Oh,
Peasant.
Well, Magnolia ain't going to mess around. Yeah. You are not Magnolia. I'm sorry.
Right. You got to come farther up the hill.
Update a list of some of those Men's Room IPA locations coming up for you. And today is the day that we do our random question.
Random.
206-803-ROCK.
Look, man, it's true. My wife, we had moved into our house about 10 years ago, and I get a text at work one day, and it just says, hey, the price of housing in Pinehurst has increased whatever the percent. It's Seattle, so something outrageous, right? My response was, good effing for the people that live in Pinehurst. Her response was, you live in Pinehurst, you effing idiot. I'm like, then good for us.
Yep.
I did not know I lived there until then. Because like you said,
it happened to
I'm
me.
north of Northgate.
Yeah. I mean, it happened to me, last June.
Where are you technically?
Oh, I'm in Northgate.
You're Northgate, okay.
But I took a friend back east, and we went to see my nephew's graduation, and my brother lives in Northern Virginia, right? He lives in a nice section, blah, blah, blah. So the next day, we drive through D.C., then we're going to drive over to PG County, Maryland. I'm going to show my buddy Sean where DeMatha is. We're going to see the University of Maryland. We're going to see the home I grew up in. As we're getting through, getting close to DeMatha, he just goes, so Virginia's just a lot nicer.
Yeah.
I was like, well.
Yes. At that point, yes.
Yeah, right. We're like in Bladensburg. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of the hood.
That's it, man. That is your Fitty Ridge to your Greenwood. Hello, Emmett. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, you dinosaurs.
Hola. Emmett, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see what we have for you. Okay. Thinking back on your life, in general, it could be something that's someone that's current, someone that was in your life in the past that influenced you or helped you out along the way. Who would you say that if you saw him again, you owe him just a thank you, just a general thank you as far as, hey, I just want to tell you if I never did, I appreciate this, or, because of you, I was...
Avoided jail time.
Oh, right. Good or bad. Like, look, man, we've had people fire us before. Ideally, they deserve a thank you because we ended up here.
At this point, yes.
So
thank you.
It could be all kinds of reasons. Why you're someone who was like, instrumental to you growing up, a teacher, a coach,
sure.
A mentor, anything like that, a coworker?
Well, there definitely would have been one. There was an old guy that lived in my neighborhood growing up there that helped me learn a lot of stuff, but he's unfortunately dead now.
When do you say learn a lot of stuff, like what? Like this handyman stuff, what?
Yeah, he taught me how to, he had like a small woodworking shop in his garage, and like I would go over there with projects and stuff like that, and he would always take the time to like help explain stuff to me.
Well, that's cool, man.
All right.
Are you still pretty handy to this day?
Yeah, now I'm a mechanic, and I can actually afford that to another guy who I luckily I think since then, but my high school shop teacher going into school didn't really have any idea what I was going to do after graduation. Had no real idea what was going to what direction my life was going to take, and he kind of kicked my butt into line, and I've been successful enough since then.
Did it kick your butt in the line kind of under the thing of like, hey, dummy, every day that you come here, I see that you're clearly interested in blank. Why don't you go pursue that?
Yeah, kind of. He really supported me. I found out what I liked. Like, I really liked welding, and I really liked working on stuff, and he kind of he taught me what I needed to know, and he gave me the resources to figure out everything else that I would have needed to know.
Okay.
And then because of that, he relied on me to go teach some other students certain things, and that too, his confidence in me to go and take on some of these projects really helped me out.
Well, good, man. Yeah. And especially at that age, when there's an adult who's confident in you, because typically when you're a teenager, it seems like 98% of the crap you hear from adults, how much you suck, how much you've already screwed up, how much you got to think about your future, and all of that stuff is true, but they never seem overly optimistic about your ability to achieve something later in life, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's always every assembly we had in Baltimore, and this is not a joke, every single one of them from high school up anyway, there's always some dude that had either cleaned himself up from drugs or done time in prison. This is the only message, and I don't know if it's still true. I hope it's not, because that's the only message you send to these kids, and it always started the same way. They always thought they were clever. Look to your left, look to your right. 50% of you, especially the boys, 50% of you going to prison, blah, blah, blah. And we're always like,
thanks.
Well, since no one has any expectation of us, we can now fall for one. Not one person has said, you are the future, make good decisions. It's always, you already suck, you're going to continue to suck, and the only way you're going to learn a lesson basically is to go to prison. We're all just like, Jesus Christ, man. Thank you for having no faith in any person in any school in this entire city.
I think I would thank my first scoutmaster because he was really, really active. He had two sons in the troop that we were in, and the two guys who were scoutmasters back then made it a point to have a very active troop. So we would go to Canada for a couple weeks in a canoe. We would go caving. We would go spelunk, rappelling, rafting, you name it. I mean, if there was something that could be done, we would have those weekend experiences. It's a different experience. It's cool to go with your dad or somebody like that. But when you have somebody else who wants to take you more on adventurous journeys where you're...
Dad's patience is going to wear thin at some point. Where these guys are like, no, come on.
This is what we love to do. We love hiking these loops, going to these different places, learning all those things. I thought that was really valuable as far as some life experiences, being able to pitch a tent, build a fire, all those things that were kind of important.
Some stuff Dad just doesn't know.
Yeah, cook
that
outside,
is very true.
Take us fishing all the time. My neighbor Dale Miller got me into radio, and I'm forever grateful for that. I had a great coach in college that would take the time to film me and sit down and
film you doing what, Miles?
Make me a better player. Just different angles on far as how I'm striking the ball.
Oh, I thought you meant like in the shower.
Yeah, well, probably too.
It's been dropped soap.
Exactly.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, we started doing that like at 7th or 8th grade, and it seemed like it was like mid-90s. It was like mind-boggling. Like they were like, "Your coaches film you?" I was like,
reviewing tape.
Yeah, and then literally like. You didn't have to, but like with Coach Prada, Pat, as he's a friend now. But we would sign up to the same camps. He would film everything, and then I don't know. There's probably like 5 or 6 of us. His wife Katie would make us dinner, and we would sit there and break down film of our swings in the winter time, getting ready. It was fun too.
Sure.
And like my dad coached me a couple years growing up, and I could always go to him for stuff, baseball, like sports stuff. But I had a neighbor that like taught me how to fish and certain things. Like, my dad just didn't care about that stuff. So he was. And truthfully, my neighbor across the way was a fireman in D.C. So he would work at 24 and then have like 3 days off. His kids were much younger, so like he was going fishing anyhow. He was more than happy to have like a 10 or 11-year-old boy who would listen to him and be like, all right, let's fish.
Yep. The reason we asked, who do you owe a thank you to? This is a weird one. We all know the classic movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a ton of lines.
Thank you, Phoebe Cates.
Tons of iconic characters, the storyline, everything else. Well, this is kind of based on that movie. As we know, Vans might not be the brand today if Sean Penn hadn't worn them in the checkered slip-ons when he played Jeff Spicoli.
Got a pair myself.
In Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And now, more than 40 years later, the owner of Vans finally had the chance to thank him. The guy's name is Steve Van Doren, and he is the son of the company co-founder. And he was in Hawaii about a year ago, and he heard that Sean Penn was at a restaurant that he was dining at. So he went in, he was able to introduce himself and told him, quote, "You made my life so much better because of what you did for the brand. It's based on the iconicness of your character." And from that point on, the company and the business did really, really well, more so than no one knew the company up until that point, except for some surfer dudes in California.
You think Sean Penn's
and
like,
some skaters.
Bro, thank wardrobe. I did not pick out my clothes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that my character could do this, but it's not like I picked the crap that you saw me wearing.
So he picked up Sean Penn's dinner for him as a thank you.
All right.
Thank God.
It's something, right?
Yes.
I mean, but still.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's very kind, but it's like, dude, I'm rich. Don't even worry about it. I'm Sean freaking Penn. I got money.
Random.
You think he's still angry in Hawaii?
Who, Sean Penn? Yeah. Angry at Hawaii?
No, he just always looks angry.
He comes off salty.
Yeah, he does.
Right, he always looks. Even when he's doing like good stuff for people.
Yeah, he looks angry.
He's so intense and he's very cerebral. I don't think he has the ability, even if he's in a great mood or if you're a comic and he found you hilarious, he might not laugh through your whole performance. And even if you said like, man, what did I bomb that bad? I feel like he'd be one of those guys that says, I actually think you're very funny. Mm-hmm. That was very entertaining. First time I met Brian Billick. He was former coach of the Baltimore Ravens. Now, it's fun to do radio. We're doing sports. And, like anything, when your favorite team does not perform or do the things you'd like them to do, you throw them under the bus, you point out people. So I'd always go after Billick. And I was never really mean, but I was not very nice. But I would say some stuff, all right? Even where the boss would be like, hey, man, you can't say this. You can't say that. I got in trouble for calling him a dumbass. I'm like, did you see the play I'm talking about? That's a dumbass. There's no other excuse for that. He's a dumbass. In that moment, he was a dumbass. Whatever. So our final broadcast of this particular football season, we're going on location, and we're going to be joined by head coach Brian Billick. So now I'm just like, oh, no, right? Because it'd be like me making fun of Mike Tyson, then Mike Tyson comes in like, I heard what you said, right? It's going to be problematic. So Billick sat there for 4 hours with us, and I think it's tall. He's super tall. You do not realize how big this guy is, but he's very Sean Penn-like, where there's not a lot of mirth, not a lot of warmth. So he just sits there with this stony face. We do our show. I'm doing my regular thing. The broadcast ends. He's not really said like 2 words to me in this entire broadcast. So the broadcast ends. I put down my headphones, and this big-ass hand grabs my bicep.
He's a big dude.
And I turn around, and he's still got that stony Sean Penn kind of look on his face, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I hear your show. I think you're very funny. And then he left. So I looked at our old partner, Steve Staufferberg. I said, was he being serious? Stauf's like, yeah, if he told you that, that's what he means. I'm like, well, most people smile. He doesn't.
More of the random question on the way. 206-803-ROCK.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
There are any number of reasons you might consider selling your home. That's where an agent who is a realtor comes in to navigate the process to sell your home in a way that's right for you. Because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
1, 2, 3, 4. Those are numbers. But you already knew that. If you want to know what number you're going to pay each month for your car, use Kelly Blue Book My Wallet on Auto Trader. They're really good at numbers. Auto Trader.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries. And in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury, without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's sweet potato fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
It is random question 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Alex. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, you old decrepit bitches.
Hola. Alex, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see what we got here for you. Okay, what would you say is the dumbest thing that you did as a teenager? Dumbest thing you did as a teenager?
Oh, hands down, this was back in, I think 8th grade, I believe. Being the young and stupid and naive kid I was at the time, I thought it would be a good idea to bring some kitchen knives to school and show them off.
Brilliant idea. What was your thinking behind it? Because they're just kitchen knives, right? So, like, what were you excited to show people? Just the knives?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And what ended up happening when you revealed all of these knives in school?
I was expelled from that school, and I was also put on probation.
Wow. So what was their assumption when they said you're I mean, how quick were they to expel you?
Like 5 or 6 hours after they were found.
Okay. And were you able to go to another school?
I was, yes.
So why do they still, because I would imagine that your nature...
The knife-friendly school.
Right. You bring in the knives. I would assume that when they asked you why you brought them, you're pretty much just on the level, right? Like, I just wanted to show them to my friends.
Yeah, I mean, I was very straightforward with them. I said, I was saying I had zero intention of using these on anyone, but they were not buying that story whatsoever.
Wow. And got expelled, huh?
Had you been in any trouble before?
Well, I'm not really much of a rule follower in principle, so I got in trouble in school a lot.
But did you do anything violent? Or look, I didn't get in a lot of, like, fights in high school, but I didn't really follow the rules either. But violence would not have been what they put on my record.
Well, I have gotten violent a few times at school, but that was mostly because of the fact that, I'm pretty sure you know of, like, the middle school, high school hierarchy system. There's popular kids, there's unpopular kids.
Of course.
I was basically down towards the bottom of my first few years of middle school.
Okay. All right. Raise me asked the dumbest thing you did as a teen. Late last night, at approximately midnight, the proprietors of CM Motors in Pasco were alarmed to witness an individual car theft attempt on their premise.
Okay.
So the owners observed the perpetrator smashing the windows of 2 Kia vehicles in apparent bid to steal them. Promptly responding to the call, Officers arrived on the scene just as the thief was maneuvering one of the stolen cars out of the lot, only to be thwarted by the strategic positioning of a Pasco police patrol car.
All right.
Kind of cut in front of him, we'll let him go out. Subsequently, the thief abandoned the vehicle and then took off on foot into a residential neighborhood, initiating a pursuit by the police. Now, despite his attempts to evade capture by jumping over fences and navigating through numerous backyards, officers maintained their pursuit and they successfully cornered the suspect. Now, ultimately, the perpetrator was apprehended. He was hiding beneath a boat.
Okay.
Astonishingly, the thief, identified as a 15-year-old juvenile from Pasco, was found hiding, wearing underwear as a makeshift face covering.
Bro, come on, man.
So he put the underwear over his head so they couldn't see him.
This is the first part where I'm disappointed in this
Yes.
case.
Facing the consequences of his actions, the juvenile culprit was booked into the Juvenile Detention Center on charges of 2 counts of attempted auto theft. He did actually have underwear on. So
he had extra underwear with him?
Well, they believe
he brought the underwear as this. Here's the thing, if I'm the kid's parent, there's a million things, obviously, that I need to say to my kid. But toward the end of my spiel about how you screwed up, it's kind of like, son, you have the wherewithal to actually steal a car. You're telling me you can hot wire a car, which at 15, I don't want you to do that, but that's impressive. But with all that skill and all that thought, you couldn't come up with a better disguise than a pair of your underwear on your head. That's what you're telling me. Come on, man. You can do better than that.
Well, he actually wore it into the dealership, so they couldn't identify his face on cameras, too.
I understand the point of wearing the mask. I don't question that. Just like underwear. That's what you went with. All right. Hello, Cheyenne. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen, and happy belated birthday, Thrill.
Oh, thank you, my man. I appreciate that.
Let's see. All right, you can answer this one, Cheyenne. What is the weirdest medical condition that you've had to deal with?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. I live life with cerebral palsy, so it's kind of an everyday thing.
All right. Is it ever better times than not, or is it strictly one of those things that just kind of deteriorates over time?
Well, it's one of those things. Thankfully, it's not progressive, but there are just certain things that just always suck to deal with, like, incredibly high muscle tone, that kind of thing. So movement's a little difficult at times, not always, but just depends on different factors, So
what do you mean muscle tone? Like you're all jacked?
No, I mean, like, I need to make sure I stretch constantly or my muscles are, like, super, super tight.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask you. Okay. Now, obviously, you could probably get, like, better parking and all these kinds of things. But let me ask you this in all seriousness. They run fire drills here at work. I have it actually written down on my schedule for, I believe, this week or next week, so I don't have to be here for it. But we're on the 14th floor. And one of the things about the fire drill is they put the elevators out of service. So if we were actually going to leave the building, not in the case of a drill, the drill would go down to the 11th floor. I think we go down 3 floors. But if there's an actual fire, it's 14 floors we got to go, man. So if you got cerebral palsy, I mean, can you get a break, like, even on the elevator? Like, look, man, I don't know if I can do 14 flights of stairs, to get out of here before the building bursts into flames.
Honestly, if I had to, I could, in the sense that, like, as long as I could find, like, a railing or something and just, like, make my way down, then, yeah, I could do it.
What's the hardest, just day-to-day thing? Stepping in and out of a bathtub? I mean, what is just a weird thing that's, kind of more problematic?
Well, honestly, I mean, it's not necessarily anything with the body. It's just, like, accessibility in different places. Like, you go in somewhere and you're like, hey, I don't know if I can drop a deuce in here if I need to or whatever it is,
All right.
I see.
Okay. All right. You should go over that question first. When you walk in, and you sort of say, hi, can we help you? Yeah, just on the off chance that I got to poop, can I use your bathroom?
Yeah.
I'm not here for that reason, but you never know.
Yep. Here's a weird one. The weirdest medical condition. A man suffers from a rare demonic face syndrome that distorts people's faces. It's called PMO. Extremely rare neurological disorder that makes other people's faces appear severely distorted. Think about one of those crazy filters that you can put,
with that,
on pictures to make people look like they're, cartoonish or whatever the deal is.
But this guy, it's all demonic, right?
Correct.
Like, none of it's funny. It's all horrifying.
He says
that's got to be scary to go through life.
I mean, until the doctors, if everyone you look at looks like a monster, then I guess at the same time, no one looks like a monster.
It says, imagine waking up one day and looking at the faces of your loved ones only to discover that their ears, noses, mouths are stretched back and deep grooves have appeared on their foreheads, cheeks, and chins. Then you go outside and see that everyone has goblin-like looks on their faces, and you start to freak out.
And they realize he's at a Willem Dafoe look-alike contest.
Yes, 59-year-old Victor Shira has been experiencing these symptoms since one morning in November in 2020. It just came on. It's extremely rare and causes faces to appear distorted in shape, size, and color. He's a truck driver. He said he's always had sharp eyesight, so he knew something was wrong on that fateful day when he noticed a disfigured-looking man in his apartment, which turned out to be his roommate. But as he went outside, Shira realized everyone he looked at had this stretched, almost demonic look on their faces. My first thought was I woke up in a demon world. You can't imagine how scary it was. I was really freaking out. I was going to maybe have to have myself committed. Now, it is an ultra-rare disorder. Only 75 cases have been recorded. So doctors don't know a lot about it. They know it's frequently misdiagnosed as a psychiatric condition, but unlike schizophrenia, the facial distortion is not accompanied by delusional beliefs about the identities of people.
It's just, I know this is Miles, but for whatever reason, Miles now just looks like a demon.
Are distorted. So in order to learn more about this, scientists at Dartmouth worked with Shira to recreate the facial distortions that he perceives, allowing everyone else to see the world through his eyes. And they were able to do this because Victor only sees people's faces distorted when he meets them in person, but not in photos or by watching it on television.
But only like nothing else is distorted. Like you don't look at a building and it looks weird, just people's faces.
Yep. Well, they're trying to figure out what the hell this is.
Ted, I think I have an image
of what he sees.
Yeah, as he described it, they did the best they could to recreate it on a computer, and it's effed up if it's accurate. Oh, damn it.
I don't know that I could deal with that.
I mean, I think he made the best point. Like, at first, when this is happening, you do not understand what's happening. So, yes, you think you just woke up in hell, except that everyone you talk to is still exactly the same. You'd walk in here. We don't know that you're seeing us as demons, but the show is just the show. But it's like, why does Ted look so weird today? And it's like, Ted's terrified of you.
I guess that's my issue. Is just
until a doctor
I could fathom the three of you are still talking normal, but it would just be like, Jesus, they look like demons.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm going to keep looking for this picture. It's a very weird thing. Hello, Malachi. Welcome to the men's room. Malachi. Sorry, Malachi.
Hola. Malachi, welcome to the program. Ran a question. Turn your radio down a little bit there, Malachi.
It's his phone.
Give me just a second.
And then do me a favor. How do you spell your name?
Malachi.
Damn.
All right. Okay.
Malachi.
All right, Malachi. Who had a prank pulled on them? Anybody you know? It could have been you, but who pulled the prank on someone?
Oh, well, there was one pulled on me a while back when I was about, I think I was like 10. We were out in the park, and I was riding my bike and doing all sorts of tricks. And my buddy ran up to me and had told me that my buddy had fallen off his dirt bike and into the river. So I went back towards the river, which was about 2.5 miles away from me. And I started riding back, and we couldn't find him. And in the front of that river is a drain system. It's a huge drain system. It's about 6 foot tall radius. And he had gone all the way into that drain system and all the way to the other side of town and left his phone with his dirt bike. So I'm trying to call him. My dad's trying to call him. And I said, okay, I'm going to, call 911. And come to find out that he went to a coffee station, bought all of us coffee, but did not tell anyone what happened. And the person who came and found me knew about this incident. He knew what was going on and didn't tell any of us. And on my way back, we rode back, took back roads, and I ended up laying my bike and eating the mud in the ditch. And then he came out of the truck and said, hey, I got you coffee.
Okay. All right. That was pretty elaborate.
Yeah, it can help rinse the mud out of your mouth.
Here's an elaborate prank as well. And this, guys, was not cheap. Covington, Kentucky, that's just across the border from Cincinnati. So it's a suburb of Cincinnati, but it's in Kentucky. And if you drive through town right now, it's hard to miss a new billboard that just went up. Now, it looks like a Kraft mac and cheese ad at first.
Okay.
You have to see this thing. But it's just a photo of a guy eating mac and cheese. And the sign says, "This man consumes over 20 gallons of liquid cheese in a year." And he's sitting there eating his cup of macaroni and cheese.
Right.
Now, people thought maybe it was a viral marketing stunt by Kraft. It turns out it's part of an ongoing prank war between two coworkers who keep figuring out ways to get back and forth with each other. Now, the man on the sign is Jake Laws, and he works with a guy named Jonathan Pittman, who recently snapped a photo of him eating mac and cheese at work. Apparently, most days, all he eats is mac and cheese at work.
Okay.
So Jake showed up to his job last Monday to find that Jonathan had handed out T-shirts with the same photo on them to all the employees. But Jake did not find out about the billboard until his sister saw it and called him that night. He admits, "I do eat a lot of cheese." He's not sure if it's 20 gallons a year or not because, quote, "I never knew I would ever need to do the math. But yes, I eat a lot of cheese." So Jonathan rented the billboard for a full month, so it'll be up for another 3 weeks. According to the sign company, 1 month at that location is about $1,200.
Damn.
Just
Worth
have a
it.
picture of him eating macaroni and cheese.
I like it, too, is he just looks annoyed the guy's even taking the picture of him.
Oh, of course.
Random.
20 gallons of liquid cheese in a year.
Hello, Tanner. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys.
Hola.
Tanner, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. What was the last thing that bit you, or who was the last person to bite you?
Oh, man, I'd say it was my cat.
All right, good call. That was
That could've
probably the
been-
last thing to bite me bad.
Probably as recently as 20 minutes ago. How often did your cat nip at you?
Oh, and not too often. She hates anybody that comes in the house, though. Like, she's cool with me, my girlfriend, but it's like she will attack anybody that comes in the house. It's crazy.
Can you rub her belly without her attacking you?
I can, yes.
Okay. Yeah, to me, that's the litmus test where, like, I can do it to my cat because we've had the cat since she was little, and I always just picked her up by the belly, right? Anyone else puts their hand in there, I'm like, I really wouldn't do
What's
that.
up with those a-hole cats that attack people? I've experienced a few of those cats in my lifetime where they exactly what you're saying, Tanner. I mean, basically, they like one or two people. That is it. And I mean, to the point where you don't even want to go over to their house.
No, I don't.
You have to be on
yeah.
guard all the time.
I never saw this guy's cat, but it was a couple I knew. This is years and years and years ago, back in Baltimore. They had an apartment. They were kind of excited because they found a cat. They'd had it for like 3 days at this point, but we'd gone to a restaurant or to the bar. Either way, we're going back to their place. So the guy, Rich, he's the husband in this group. We get to his apartment door, and he says, hey, mate, give me a minute. I got to deal with the cat. And in my mind, you know, dogs will attack people. Cats are cats. What are you worried about? And he opens the door just wide enough to slide in, closes the door. And then all you hear is, Door opens. He's like, okay, man, you can come in. I'm like, are you sure? He goes, yeah, I finally got the cat, put the cat in the bedroom. So I hang out there for like an hour and a half. And again, I never saw the cat. I'm like, dude, just open the door. He says, man, I'm telling you, if I let this cat out, she's going to attack you. She goes for your face. And the whole time I'm there, like the bedroom door's shaking because she keeps sticking her paw under.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, why do you have it? And he's like, I don't think we're going to have it long.
No.
Like,
No.
seriously, he had to move the cat before he went in there because it would attack you.
Raise, we asked what was the last thing that bit you, or who was the last person to bite you? Big weekend for a UFC fighter, Andre Lima. He won his first, scored a $50,000 bonus, got a new tattoo, all because he was bitten by his opponent. While he was fighting Igor Severino in Vegas on Saturday night, Severino bit Lima on the underside of his left arm. When Lima cried out in pain, the ref examined the mark, disqualified Severino, and awarded Lima the win.
Yeah.
Later that night, Lima took things a step further by getting a replica of the bite mark tattooed in the same place, which he proudly displayed then on Instagram. Well, UFC President Dana White initially gave Lima a $25,000 bonus, but then he doubled it when he saw the tattoo, according to The Athletic. UFC frequently bestows bonuses to fighters with various things, but Bite of the Night appears to be an all-time first. As for Severino, bad news all around. Not only was he disqualified for the fight, but the UFC, they cut him loose right after the fight.
Yeah.
They said those were two up-and-coming undefeated fighters. If you get frustrated and want to fight, there are plenty of ways to do it. But the worst thing you can do is bite your opponent.
Yeah.
Now you get cut, and you lose the biggest opportunity of your life. That from Dana White. More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
It's one thing falling in love with a house, and quite another navigating the world of negotiating, mortgage lenders, and finding the budget that works best for you. Guidance from an agent who's a Realtor can make all the difference, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
It is a random question, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Hola. Mike, welcome to the program. Random question. Okay, what do we have here for you? Okay, let's see here. How about this one? I'm not proud, but I once had to relieve myself somewhere else other than a bathroom. we'll say.
Hiking trail.
Okay.
How far off the trail did you go, or did you actually deuce directly on the trail?
Cliffside.
Cliffside?
Right on trail.
All right. That's not so bad.
Hold on to a tree, or did you face down?
Like, imagine, like, squatting and, like, trying to kind of hold yourself over the cliff and there being a tree just right enough. You can kind of make it look like a dog turd.
So wait, you're physically holding a tree. Your ass is over the cliff, you're saying?
Yes, with the tree behind me, my arm's kind of, like, pushing against it to make sure I don't fall downhill.
And about how many feet do you think your Duke dropped?
One.
Two. Okay.
All right.
It's not a very big cliff.
That's a horrible feeling.
Well, yeah.
No, it was farther. If I was to fall, it's farther down. But from where, like, turd lands, like, no, not that far.
Were you disappointed that it did not plummet farther?
No, I was not expecting it to. I was hoping to be able to blame it on the dog.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I had Castle drug me to one of his, hey, let's do a half marathon things.
But why would you say yes to that?
I just
no.
But Castle's a little bit more disciplined as far as his ability to know the right routine. As far as
the days leading up.
Yeah, I mean, I trained for it and everything else.
Right.
I was ready to go, but like anything else, I'm like, well, I'm going to run, 13 miles. I need to have something in my stomach.
Sure.
So I stopped at McDonald's, got myself, a sausage and cheese biscuit and a hash brown and a Diet Coke. Had that for breakfast, and we head up on top of the mountain. Now, this race we were running, the first, I don't know, mile and a half, maybe, if not farther, was underneath a tunnel on top of Snoqualmie Pass. Believe it or not, there's an old train tunnel up there.
Yeah, all right.
So you run in the dark, and it's just, damp and puddles everywhere. And when you get to the end of that tunnel, there is a bathroom on this trail.
Okay.
It's like a park bathroom. Well, that was about 20 deep in that line. So I asked the people at the table, I was like, where is the next bathroom? They said, well, it's a few miles down. I said, okay, because I got to go. So we hit the 3-mile marker, the 4-mile marker, the 5-mile marker.
Did you fully empty out before you left the house?
I did as best I could. But now the McDonald's is just racing through me.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So I get to the 6-mile table, essentially the halfway point. And the woman said, yeah, it's just a mile down or 2 miles down or whatever it was. It ended up being at marker 9. And I mean,
well, they don't want to tell you that.
When I went in there, I could not. It was when I pulled my pants down, it was on.
It was go time.
I mean, I'd held it for so long. It was one of the most. So I'm like, oh, thank God. So I start running another mile, make it to the 10-mile mark, and realize I'll get an S again. I've still got 3 miles to go.
Right.
And at the bottom of this hill, there's nothing. I mean, it literally was you're running in the woods. There's nothing else. So man, I'm telling you what, that was one of the closest I've ever had to crabbing myself in the middle of a run.
You couldn't, peel off the trail, disappear behind some trees?
No. Castle, there was no place to get off that trail, was there? There was nowhere you could go. Nowhere. There was nowhere you could go.
Just so everyone knows, I was just getting myself a beer and I overheard the conversation. So most races.
He started this by giving you credit that you're
more disciplined.
More disciplined because you didn't have fast food breakfast before a half marathon.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it's also worth noting that I smoked his ass in that race, so much so that I was waiting at the finish line for so long that I thought maybe I missed him.
No, you can't. When you're running with the tight cheeks like that, your stride is shorter.
This race is on Snoqualmie Pass. It goes from Hayek down towards North Bend. And most races you do, like every mile or so, there are porta-johns. But because of where this is, they can't get porta-johns in there. So there are like a couple of public restrooms on this trail, and that's it. So Miles, I think, assumed, that I'll pass this one and I'll just stop at the next one. And the next one just never came.
So 9 miles deep.
Dude, he crosses the finish line, and I'm like, dude, what happened? He just looks at me and he goes, I have stories.
Yeah. Well, the thing was that the woman who was in front of me, I was waiting. I had to wait. So I'm sitting there jumping, man, and I didn't know who was in there, whatever.
Yeah.
But I can hear it. Oh. And she had the same issues I did.
It happens,
I
man.
went in there, it was thick.
And there's nothing worse than when you're running because all of your muscles down there are moving. Like when it's time to go, it's time to go.
See, that's why I don't run half marathons.
I've run from my house to Miles' house before,
just to poop.
And we were going to go out for a run, so I would run down to his place.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of times I got to his house. I was like, "Let me in,
come on."
I will say the worst one I had was in the middle of a sparring session.
Oh.
So it's not just that you're sweaty and stuff, but you got to get off your hand wraps and the gloves.
Right.
There's work to do.
So by the and then you poop. It's in a boxing gym, so you're just dripping sweat. And like, I remember I came out of there. I think I had missed a round, so you had to poop, get it all done within 3 minutes. And my coach and the other guy was like, "Don't put the hand wraps back on." Because sparring was like the end of the hour-long practice. Like you're done.
There are a few things worse than when you're sweaty and sucking wind and in a porta
And
john
you have to
also,
God,
and you're breathing like
because that's the last way you want to breathe.
Your clothes don't come off easy. They're all stuck
No,
to
you
your
got to
body.
relax. I mean, you remember, think about high school football.
Oh,
like,
terrible.
if you ever actually have to poop, the amount of time because you got to get your pants off, then your girdle,
and you're dancing.
You're wearing a jock strap. Like, it's just awful.
You remember Reggie White years ago, right? You know, this great defensive player for all these years. I can't remember who they were playing, but he takes off the field. And so the broadcasters have no idea what's going on. And because he was so prominent in the NFL, it's like, we don't want to speculate. But obviously there's some kind of injury. We just can't figure out what it is. And they kept showing the clip of him running off the field. And they're trying to figure, there's no limp, nothing. Comes back out of the tunnel probably about a good 10 minutes later with the biggest grin on his face. and it's not like he's telling us because the game's still going on. But then word gets to the broadcasters and kind of hear them chuckle to like, update on Reggie White. Apparently it was a very important bathroom break. In other words, homeboy's about to S his pants out there.
The only thing that got injured was the toilet.
Yeah, the toilet. Reggie White sitting on it. By the way, you guys aren't alone. Someone here says, I had to S in a cardboard box. I was working on a farm doing repair. They had no bathrooms available, so I had to find a small box to take a crap in it, duct tape it, and then throw it in the dumpster. Says those 16-hour days suck. And then this one, I had to poop the whole time I was on a river float with a bunch of friends. At least everybody else was downstream.
Well, the problem is
you just poke your ass to the hole in inner tube, I guess. And
you can pull your pants down. They're around your ankles, but when you squat, it's almost like your pants are right underneath your butt.
Yeah.
It's like a little basket.
Yeah, you can't. There's no real way to get that thing out far enough, where you feel confident. You're not going to just drop it right back in your pants.
That's why trees come. The one time, not the one time, but this is Midtown Baltimore.
One of the times.
But the bar that I was in, that bar was too disgusting to put. You didn't want to pee in this bar. It was that gross. So I'm like, look, man, there's a little hill with some trees, and there's railroad tracks. I'm going to poop on the hill, which everyone thought was funny. But I'm like, would you poop in that bathroom? They said no. I said, well, here we are. Because I'm at that moment, I got to go. But I realized the logistics of it, right? Because I get my pants down, I'm squatting. Keep in mind, there's a light rail track at the top of the hill. So you're trying to be as camoed in the trees as you can. And my biggest concern was that I'm going to poop directly back in my pants. And then I found the right tree, and you kind of do this weird lean back, make sure your underwear is more under, right where your thigh meets your butt cheek. And then I'm like, okay, now I can poop.
Well, here's the great news about that race. So I'm pretty sure what happened was that it was a Saturday morning. So we're done at about 11-ish, 11:30.
It's called the Cascades Express.
Somewhere in there. Well, the bus driver who was supposed to pick us up at the bottom of the mountain, he went out Friday night, from what I understand. He got completely effed up.
There was no bus.
And he forgot.
Oh, dang.
Either he woke up late, so there's like a bunch of us just standing down at the bottom of the mountain.
Well, yeah, and
we're freezing now.
You're freezing, you're sweating, and then you have to hike like a half mile down this dirt road to get to the bus stop, and then there was no bus.
He completely had a great Friday night and just either spaced or didn't wake up. So we were just sitting there like, oh no. So we waited another hour. I've still got to poop again. I told you.
Right.
Like I still don't have that feeling gone.
I'll never forget the look on his face when he came across the finish. He said, I have stories.
I mean, it was so close.
By the way, somebody says, my buddy asked his pants at work one day. So on his way home, I dialed Amazon and sent Depends. They actually beat him to his house.
Wow.
And then this one. I don't know if you guys remember this. You guys are the Seahawks fans. DK Metcalf had to be carted off the field to poop a season or two back.
Yep. Yeah.
For real? Yep. They put him on a cart?
Well, he eats his candy, right?
He eats the story. I mean, in the interviews, he's like basically eats a couple bags of candy a day and eats like a meal. But yeah, he got carted. I think it might have just been for quickness. They were like, just get the card out.
Sure, but it's another thing where the announcers are speculating, like, what has happened to DK?
Yeah.
Most people don't want the spotlight on them when they're going to poop.
Right.
So as a football player, like, I wonder how many texts you get at the end of the game says, hey, bro, so you played the game. Everyone announced it. Basically, you almost crapped yourself.
Yes. Reason we asked, I'm not proud. Once had to relieve myself somewhere. Scaling the world's highest summit is an amazing feat that entails plenty of logistics, and now what climbers do with their poop will be one of them. A new rule requiring people to carry out their waste after ascending Mount Everest was recently enacted. Because, quite frankly, do you guys know the real reason they're doing this?
I'm guessing just too many frozen turds, I would think.
Well, probably melts and then gets into the streams.
It's all of the above, and it stinks, apparently. It is reeking up there. They said that the large part of the Nepal side of Everest is just reeking. Officials have received complaints that human stools are visible on rocks. Some climbers are falling sick. With extreme temperatures, especially near the topmost parts of the mountain, they don't allow waste to fully decompose ever. So the magazine Outside has an interesting rundown on what happens, toilet-wise, at each of the 5 camps the climbers stop at on their way to the top. A trek that can take weeks. Now, base camp, where climbers acclimate to a high altitude, that's the most organized. That's the home base.
So, right.
But as climbers go higher to the 4 other camps, they either drop waste in ravines, bury it, or when ice gets too hard, just leave it out in the open. They describe the Camp 4 at 26,000 feet as one giant open toilet. There is hardly any ice and snow, so you're going to see human stools all around. A Nepali environmental group estimates there are about 6,600 pounds of excrement on Everest, with half of it at the South Pole. Now, under the new rule,
I'm guessing it's an intern that has to do the count.
Climbers must purchase chemically filled bags at base camp that solidify waste and render it mostly odorless. After their descent, they must check in these WAG bags to make sure they use them. Outside spoke to guides about how this will change.
Term WAG I've ever heard.
Yes. An Austrian guide who already requires his climbers to bring back waste in bags says the move is long overdue. Others are making plans for the change, and for the larger group tours, the logistics will be a little bit trickier, but one outfitter is considering helicoptering drums of turds off of Everest. But if that does not pan out, hiring more staff to help carry the load, and then cleanup crews actually going up there just to pick up all the human waste.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, I think we've reached the point, like, maybe dispose of this yourself. More people are checking in about DK Metcalf. Someone says, I believe DK Metcalf was mic'd up for that game as well. And then someone points out that he was in Detroit, and if he's the furthest away from the locker room possible, field-wise, so like the locker room tunnel's in the northwest corner, he's in the southeast corner. So that's why I had to card him. And then someone here says, don't forget about Paul Pierce. I think it was the NBA Finals. He got wheelchaired off because he had to doo-doo.
Look, Paul Pierce thing is ridiculous. I don't know. He did take a hard foul.
Sure.
The issue with that one is they carried him off in a wheelchair, but it's Paul Pierce. So then he came back in and they were like, it's amazing triumph and this and that. It's like, well, he's not that hurt. But you got to keep in mind, Paul Pierce also got stabbed once 9 times outside of a nightclub and was fine.
Yeah.
So that's why that one is so I don't know. I think he legit got hacked and was a little injured, but it was ridiculous that they had to get him in a wheelchair to take him off. Because it's like, you're an honest to God tough dude.
But he may have said, I'm not hurt, get the wheelchair so I don't poop myself. And if I do, people don't see it.
What was his, I know he just got picked up by another media company, but what did he get fired for ESPN for? He either Instagram.
Paul Pierce,
he's unapologetic. I know.
I was going to say, to his credit, he really, a lot of people say they don't care, which think about him. I don't think Paul Pierce does care. So he was working at ESPN for a while, and he just live streamed on Instagram, him and his friends hanging out with strippers and stuff. And obviously, I guess that wasn't the best look. I don't know if they were smoking weed or whatever.
Right.
So that's how he lost that job. Then he was doing some other stuff. I mean, one of them with Kevin Garnett, they'll sometimes there's a big basketball game. They'll just live stream the two of them sitting there and you can watch it, right?
Okay.
Kind of like Barstool does all the time. But he's sitting there joking about chicks and everything. He's like, what are you talking about, man? And Paul Pierce is like, I hired her for the day. Basically, she's a hooker. I mean, he just
yeah, exactly.
doesn't seem
What's
to
wrong
care.
with that?
But the flip side, and I hear what you're saying, and I know ESPN is a Disney-owned company, all this stuff, but you go, hey, Mickey, listen, man, we understand Disney's a thing, but you got to know who you're hiring. It's an ex-NBA player. And I don't know what you know about NBA players, but I don't think they kick most of their bad habits even during their career. Certainly not after. I mean, it was at, Jesus. Roundmount, what the hell's his name?
Charles Barkley?
Thank you, Charles Barkley, right? So I want to say he was broadcasting. I don't. Maybe he was doing TNT, ESPN. I don't know. Probably TNT. Gets busted in Vegas. They bust him with a hooker. No drugs or anything. But
this happened in Phoenix.
Was it Phoenix? And they were like, "Hey, man," but he was straight up about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, every time I come to Phoenix, I get her and he explained this openly. She gives the best mouth hugs. I mean, like, look. This is just how they are, man.
Like he was driving around. He did not have her in the car. He picked her up the night before.
He was looking
for her again.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, and that's the thing. You're right. NBA players are pretty much known. Baseball players are good partiers, right?
Yes.
And I would say baseball players almost know more for their drinking. NBA guys are just known for legendary partying. Yeah. And you're talking strip clubs, this and that, like... What's his name? The one dude with the beard. He's like famous in Houston just because of how much money he spent in the strip clubs. There's a strip club.
Harden?
Yeah, there's a strip club that retired his jersey in the roof.
What?
Right? But Paul Pierce is like known as like one of the hardiest partiers out of the partying group.
Right. This is the guy that parties.
Tyson. That's one thing I do. When somebody's just honest. So even if it's to a fault, Barkley told the truth. He said, this is what's going on. Paul Pierce said, this is what I'm doing. That was the truth at the time. Mike Tyson, he gets pulled over. He's got rails on his dashboard, and he finishes up the lines.
Yeah, the cop's walking up to the...
Yeah, while the cop is at the window, he's like, I'm just going to do this real quick. And he does it. And he says, yeah, I'm all coked up, Paris Hilton's like, oh, that coke's not mine.
Right.
So the difference is... Not that I'm condoning any of this activity, but I appreciate the honesty.
Don't waste anyone's. It was a Rasheed Wallace. Remember, he was in a car with like 3 other NBA
Ron
guys.
Strickland.
And they pulled his car over, and I mean, it just reeks of weed. They're hot boxing, in Portland. And the cops, just like, you guys smoking weed, or do you have any more weed in the car? And he was like, nah, man, we smoked all that ass. You go like, at least you're not wasting their time.
Yeah.
Cops aren't stupid. You go like, all right, cool. And you won't find it anymore because we have, in fact, smoked it all. And it turns out when they searched the car, he was telling the truth. They smoked a lot of weed. Hello, Nick. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Nick, welcome to the program. Ran a question. Let's go with this one. What would you say is the worst sequel that you've seen, and what movie do you actually think deserves a sequel?
I mean, look, man, there was Jaws, great movie. You knew Jaws 2 would suck, and it did.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. I'm trying to think of something. I've been watching a lot of movies. I just haven't seen anything like recent. Well, Aquaman 2. I thought that wasn't. I mean, it was all right, but I think the first one was better.
Was that? I think I just saw that. There's only 2 Aquaman movies. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, then I saw that, I want to say a week, my son was all about it, like, hey, man, I want to see Aquaman 2. I'm like, cool. Good old action. You don't have to think much. I was right. You don't have to think much. And, yes, there was a lot of action. And the whole time, I'm like, this is a horrible movie. My son liked it. My son is 12. I understand why I liked it. But I'm like, this is a steaming pile of trash.
Yep.
It was that bad.
There was, man, there was an era there where I just thought the dumbest, campiest movies were still funny. You could have Naked Gun 16. And
Still funny.
As long as it had the same idea and the same group of people involved, all those, Naked Gun movies,
Hot
Police
Shots,
Academy
all
movies,
those kinds of things.
They could roll out, it could be Police Academy 6. And I'd be like, you know what?
It's still...
We need to check this out.
Yeah, there was a lot. You're right. I watched a lot of
Because it's about the character. The plot never mattered, right? It's just the characters. So if you bring back these characters, it's going to be
Ernest
funny.
never had a 2. He goes to camp, he goes
just
to church.
did all
Well, what's the joke? I mean, that was always my famous joke. I forget who started it, but it's like, what's the best sports movie of all time? Caddyshack. What's the worst sports movie of all time? Caddyshack 2.
Reason we asked what's the worst sequel you've ever seen and what movie deserves a sequel. Fans of the classic Adam Sandler comedies got some unexpected news on Friday. Sandler is reportedly in the process of creating a sequel to the 1996 masterpiece Happy Gilmore.
Nice.
Christopher McDonald, who played the pro golfer antagonist Shooter McGavin in the film, revealed the plans during a segment on the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima. I saw Adam about 2 weeks ago, and he says to me, McDonald, you're going to love this. I said, what? He says, how about that? And he shows me the first draft of Happy Gilmore 2. Now, sources say the sequel will be slated for Netflix, though Sandler himself has yet to officially confirm the project. Maybe you should just cut that out because I don't want to be a liar, but he did show me that draft, and I thought, well, now that would be awesome. So it's in the works. If fans demand it, damn it, Adam's just killing it out there. So the original film grossed $38.8 million. And also starred Julie Bowen from Modern Family and from Weeds. Obviously, Carl Weathers is not around anymore. Richard Kiel, who was in Moonraker, Jaws, he is not around anymore. Bob Barker has since passed away.
I would hope Happy Gilmore's on the Live Tour now, and they're embracing him.
Right, senior tour, something.
Yeah. I mean, that was like a big part of that of the jokes is that he's destroying golf.
More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury, without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine. Cut of our categories today: the top 10 delicious cereals and the 10 best baseball players to ever play the game. All right. In honor of Thursday's opening day. So that's coming up with your guess is as good as mine. In the meantime, our question, random style, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Adam. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Adam, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. What did you believe to be true for a long time until you found out you were completely wrong? Just something that you heard along the way.
So when I was a kid, they took us to the dairy farm and they told us that the chocolate milk came from the brown cows.
How long did you believe that?
A lot longer than I probably should have. I was probably 9 or 10 before I figured it out.
Okay, at least you're still in the safe zone of 9 or 10. It's nothing worse than being like 17, saying that to your friends at school, and they're like, "Are you being serious right now, man?"
I mean, cow knowledge. I mean, Ted, you got to think about if they were laying down in the grass, it was going to rain.
Correct.
I can't tell the difference between a beef cow and a dairy cow for the most part. I couldn't tell you if you're driving by. I mean, for whatever reason, I just never took a lot of interest. I love to eat them. I don't mind milk, but
I'm right there with you. I mean, to me, a cow's a cow. I understand they serve their different purposes, but all the multitudes of these cross-country trips that we would take when I was a kid, the one thing you will always see are cows, right? I mean, the terrain can change, the weather changes, welcome to this state, welcome to that state, man. Cows are every freaking where, and my mother would always say, because she knew that we were bored, "Hey, guys, look, there's cows." And we're like, "Do you know where we live?" Like, literally, if we cross the street and go around the corner, that neighbor, he has cows. This is not exciting. But if you said, are they dairy or beef? No idea. And can you eat if you ate a dairy cow, would it be noticeably worse?
You do eat dairy cattle.
We do.
Yeah. They
so is a beef cattle just strictly meat?
Dairy cattle, you eat them through like McDonald's.
Oh.
Okay. So
it's a lot tougher of a meat. So.
Okay. So ground chuck and all that kind of good stuff.
Here's just on general knowledge. I believe it was my first wife. We were in a car. It was pouring down rain, and a guy was behind us. And he was wasn't that he was right on my ass, but the way his truck sat, he did not have his highs on, but they were just coming right through my back window.
Right.
And right into my eyes. My rear view mirror is blinding me. So I reached up and I flipped a little switch that changes the mirror so you don't get blinded in your eyes. She goes, "What the hell's that?" I said, "Well, that guy's blinding me, man. I just flipped the mirror so, it wouldn't be in my eyes." She's like, "What do you mean you flipped the mirror?" I'm like, "You just pull this little button right here." She's like, "I never knew that existed."
Really?
I was like,
really? In her defense, I was probably in my mid-20s before I realized what that thing did.
Did you do it did you just hit it and it happened? Or
no,
did someone
same
tell you?
thing. I was driving with somebody and they did it, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
I'll be damned.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my God." And then once you realize it, it's like, how did I ever drive a car not knowing how to do that?
Blinding, The reason we asked, what did you believe to be true?
Or it could be the other way.
What's that?
You're just like, why is it so dark in this mirror?
Because they never changed it back,
you got to
right?
flip it back.
Yeah. Until you found out it wasn't true. Have you ever heard a fable, old wives' tale, or myth being passed off as fact in your presence? You've got company after someone took to the internet asking, what's an annoying myth that people still cling to as truth?
Right.
So here are some of the top voted responses. Number 1, undercover cops. The number on
they have to identify themselves if you ask.
Yeah.
Do you know what undercover is, man?
Yeah, it says, one of the falsehoods. An undercover cop has to tell you you're a cop if you ask them. One painted the picture. Imagine an undercover cop investigating a crew of violent criminals, and one of them asks, "Hey, are you a cop?" He's forced to reply with the truth, knowing that they'll kill him? No, probably not going to happen.
Think about the mob. Yeah, you're a rat. Okay, well, now that you brought it up, I am.
Yes.
Well, come on, man.
That was a big one, especially in high school. They got to tell you.
It was high school in my early 20s. Is the only time I really heard that. Because for the most part, that's when we're up to the most no good we're going to be. But that was your safety net. Like, dude, if you think they're undercover, just ask them. They have to say yes.
Yes.
Which is stupid.
The myth that we only use 10% of our brain. Now, the best analogy I've heard is that we use 100% in the same way a traffic light uses 100% of its bulbs, not all at the same time.
Right.
Also, certain situations do cause a total of 100% brain activity. They are called grand mal seizures.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's why when
your
people have
entire
them,
brain fires up
they
at once.
absolutely are exhausted back to running a marathon.
Yeah.
When my daughter had seizures, the doctor said, she's going to be out of it for about a day.
And it's literally 100% of your brain fires up.
But physically, you are drained. I don't know how that all works together.
We got to think, if all of your brain is fired up at one time, then it's telling, I think about it like this, that it's telling your legs to do something. It's telling your arms and all these different things.
What did you believe to be true until you found out it wasn't? Baby bird abandonment. Another noted as a myth that if you touch a baby bird, its mother will abandon it because of the smell.
I always believe that. I always believe that.
Birds actually have a very crummy sense of smell, to be honest. So that's not true. Here's another. Missing persons. That you need to wait 24 hours to file a missing persons report. It's the exact opposite. The first 24 hours are the most important times.
Right.
What else? Backwards ATM PIN codes. Someone shared a myth that if you enter your PIN backward on an ATM, it'll automatically summon police for you. That did the rounds on British social media for a while. Many people still believe it. Another confessed.
I would think it would just say, card not accepted.
I heard that many years before anyone ever heard on social media, what if your PIN is, and you will palindrome it maybe? There's also a tangled baby. One volunteer, there are a ton of ridiculous myths around pregnancy. The worst one I was ever told, never to raise my arms over my head, so the baby didn't get tangled in the umbilical cord. Another said, I was told if you carry your belly higher or lower, it's supposed to determine the gender of the baby.
I've heard that one before.
All right. I've heard position, too.
The position you have sex?
Yeah, the position of conception.
So how do I get a girl? How do I get a boy? Do you remember the...
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody with a girl or boy who'd been like, well, obviously it was missionary because we have a whatever.
Well, here's the problem. When both of my children were conceived, there was a lot of tequila involved where you get a little more adventurous. So, like, I think we covered a lot of the positions.
Yeah.
And we got a boy and a girl.
My son's named Jose.
Yes.
The wolf alpha theory. The alpha theory for wolves.
Nice.
People still believe it, even though the person who made the theory took it back.
Correct.
The alpha of wolves is the
parents.
The pack is usually made up of their offspring, like any other group of animals on this planet. The parents,
he spent the rest of his life, because he wrote the book, and then he went back out and saw him again. It's like, I had this wrong. And just people just won't stop with it.
He's not alpha, he's dad.
And think about all the alpha you hear all the time. Right. And when he goes back out, he realizes sometimes the alpha's the mom.
Right.
It's just like, right. It's just the parent. Mm-hmm. It's just being like, hey, we all got to go here.
Another one.
Think about it. You talk about your wife all the time, right? Like,
yeah.
Those aren't all her kids all the time. But she's the alpha in that element because
those
she's
kids
the
are
one.
terrifying of her.
Right. She's the parent with the kids.
That's exactly right.
What else we have on the, what did you believe to be true until you found out it wasn't? Carrots give good eyesight. The myth that carrots give you good eyesight, one doctor noted, dear Lord, for all these geniuses pointing out that the nutrients from carrots benefit eyes, sure they do, but there's no direct correlation between improved eyesight and carrots. There's no proof that excessive consumption of carrots provides any extra improvement in eyesight that any other food would. This myth was also admitted as a false rumor spread to keep the radar tech a secret during World War II. Another myth.
Do you have any current ones? Like, you know Tito's vodka, right?
Yeah.
And then Deep Eddy. So Deep Eddy's pretty famous for their flavored vodkas. Deep Eddy's also a famous swimming hole in Austin. Somewhere along, Deep Eddy used to always sponsor Summer Meltdown. Somewhere along the way, my buddy that lives in Austin told me that basically Tito was married. His ex-partner, she started Deep Eddy and can only do flavors. And he can't do flavors. He can only do his original.
Okay.
And that's the agreement. A couple weeks ago, I was in a suite with a bunch of people who work for a liquor company. One was Deep Eddy. And I said, I know the story. And she's like, yeah, that's just wrong. But they have nothing to do with each other. They're just both from Austin, and Deep Eddy has its own. And I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, where did you hear that? I go, well, that's the urban myth going around Austin.
Yeah. MSG, the myth that MSG is bad for you. Before another said, yes, it's so incredibly annoying. MSG tastes great and adds a little razzle-dazzle to certain food.
Razzle-dazzle.
The unhealthy food people eat is bad for them, not the MSG. What else do we have here on some theories that people believe to be true? Waiting to swim an hour after eating.
Right.
That you can't swim after eating and must wait at least an hour. It's an old myth, now debunked. For example, in Australia as a child in the early 1980s, we were often warned that eating before swimming causes cramps, and cramps lead to drowning.
That's exactly what we heard here, right?
We heard 15 minutes, I think.
Ours was 30.
Was it 30?
Time.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I heard 15 or 30, but it was the same impact where you're going to cramp and you're going to drown and die because you had 2 crackers.
Getting a cold from going outside with wet hair. You'll catch a cold if you go outside with wet hair. The idea of being out in the cold causing you to catch a cold is maddening. The science is pretty clear that we get colds in the winter because A, we spend more time indoors, and B, the dry indoor air makes it easier for viruses to travel from person to person. Many people do cling to these, they say, medieval-style beliefs about illnesses.
My wife clings to the one about going outside with the wet hair when it's cold because kids are kids. They'll shower at the last minute. It's like they're going to get a cold. I'm like, think about what a cold is. Why would that happen? Why would they get a cold because they're cold? That does not actually make any sense at all.
No, it does not.
By the way, some other people, they chimed in. Says, my uncle, he convinced my aunt that duct tape was made from ducks because of how she pronounced it. Your parents always told you that, and I think we all heard this one, turning the dome light on in the car at night is illegal. They just didn't want you to turn it on while they were driving because it is super annoying.
Is laying down after you eat really bad for digestion?
I honestly, man, I don't know. I mean, look, I finished my night. Granted, I was stoned, but I had 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, went to bed. So if it is, but I feel fine.
Right, I know. That's just one I still believe.
I hear, and maybe, put it this way, maybe it is I don't care enough. Like, I'm a smoker. I believe everything they say bad about it. I still smoke. So I'm like, look, my digestion thing, I'm okay. And I like this one. It says, here's a popular myth. If you help with house chores, your wife won't nag you. Yeah. Taking one for the team on that one. Hello, Blake. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Blake, welcome to the program. Random question. Now, let's see here. Okay. What, on the same tip, what did you find out was illegal after you did it? What did you find out was illegal, but you found it out after you'd already done it?
Oh, my goodness.
I honestly did not know that jaywalking was actually a crime. I knew what it was. I did not know that it was actually illegal until I moved to Seattle, and this cop freaked the hell out and said, "You just jaywalked." And again, I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. He's like, man, the light's red, you walked against the light. Like, look, we're downtown. I'm looking down the street, like there are no cars for 3 blocks. I, again, not recognize that it's illegal. He is losing it on me. He's yelling. His partner kind of stepped in and he goes, look, long and short of it is illegal. We could give you a ticket. And I'm like, I'll be honest with you, bro, I seriously don't care. There's not even a chance I'd pay it. But I found out this is an illegal thing, not just frowned down or whatever. It's like, Jesus Christ, relax. So
I guess I would say jumping off like bridges and stuff into water.
Is that illegal?
Some places it's illegal.
Is that how you found out?
Yes. There's cops sitting down the road scoping out the bridge, and me and like 4 buddies were jumping off of it into some water. And he gave us each like 2 jumps before he came up. So
at least he was somewhat cool about it.
Okay. Yeah, mine involves water too. 10, 12 years old. We're fishing at the lake that we fished at every single day, swam in during the summer.
Right.
That was our cove. That was our hole. That's where we went. We hung out. We were kids. That was our area where everyone collected and hung out. So one day, the Department of Natural Resources from West Virginia, the guy comes hiking down the trail behind us. And there are probably 3 of the 5 people fishing. And so we would go down a little bit farther on because there was a rope swing. There was a fishing area. Yeah. So we didn't fish in that part when people were swimming in that area. But we were down on the corner where he could probably either clearly see us from across the lake fishing or whatever the deal is. So he comes down. We never kept fish. It was always catch and release.
Right, just have fun fishing.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to get on our bike and, ride one fish home, in a backpack or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was always catch and release. We always threw back. Some of us used bobbers. We used different lures. If you're going to the bottom, you're catching catfish or bigger fish. And top fishing was, large and smallmouth bass, perch, that kind of stuff. But we'd fish. He comes up and he's like, "Can I see your license?" I'm like, "License for what? I'm only 10. I can't."
License to ill?
I'm like, "I don't need a license to ride my bike." And he goes, "No, your fishing license, son." And I said, "What the? I don't need a fishing license."
Did you think he was joking when he said?
I thought it was. I thought it was a. Yeah, I have been fishing my entire life. I've never had a fishing license.
Right.
As a kid, I don't know what the deal was. If you're your parents, you don't need who knows? I don't know. But I just thought that was. I never heard anything like that in my life. And I'm like, "You don't need a license, to fish." And he's like, "Son, let me see your ID." I said, I'm 12. Like,
right.
I don't have an ID. Like, I'm down here without a shirt on. Like, I can't even put things in my pocket. I have a key around my neck to make sure that I don't lose the damn thing. Like, and he's like, "Well, what's your parents' names?" So I gave my parents' name. He's like, "Well, I'm going to have a talk with your parents. I'm going to call your parents." Because it's just as easy as going home, looking in the phone book. I gave him my address. Your number's in the book.
Yeah.
You can call the home. He called my house and told my dad that I was fishing without a fishing license.
What did your dad say? Like, yeah.
He needs a fishing license, is what he asked me. He's like, "Well, what's the age requirement?" He's like, "If you are fishing, you need a fishing license. It doesn't matter if you're 3 years old or 4 years old. You need a license to catch fish in West Virginia. And if you're catching trout, you needed trout stamps."
Jesus God.
So all these different rules applied as far as the season.
Oh, yeah. The season, the
everything
fish.
Else. We had no idea.
But I'm with you. Same thing. We were teenagers, and they had built because there's no natural lakes in Maryland.
Right.
And they built one because they built the metro out close to my house. Me and my cousin, and so we did in the summer. We were playing baseball. We'd go fishing. Same thing. Catch and release. And then, one day there was an actual park police or something. Basically par for the conversation Miles had. Now, that was a little easier because they had like a snack stand that sold them.
Okay, all right.
So he was
you could just go up and get it.
So, right, we didn't have enough money, but basically he was like, "You need to go over there, come back with money, and fill that out, or next time I'm going to have to give you kids a ticket." Damn. And I got one boating. That's still on my record because I didn't I didn't have a checkbook and pay it in time. But same thing. I'm in Deep Creek Lake. Cop comes over as the boat I'm sitting on has a bad registration. And he's like, "Where's your license?" Like, "Here you go." And he's like, "Where's your boating license?" Like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "No, seriously." And I'm like,
"Seriously, sir?
You got those? That's a real thing?" And he's like, "Yes, it's a real thing. You don't have one?" I'm like, "No. Why would I have a boating license? You get a license, you drive stuff."
Well, Washington State also has a motorcycle endorsement you need.
Yeah.
So that's unique.
I think most states do.
They might now, but growing up, no. You're 16 years old. You go buy a motorbike. That's how you get to.
In the 70s, nobody asked questions. I mean, that was a lot. You could go to the store, you buy cigarettes. Yes, they are for my dad. Not once did they ever ask. You know, my dad would say, "Hey, man, give me 2 packs of Meriton." I don't know, like a 6-pack of Lone Brown. I'm 11 years old. It's no big deal. You know, I went and asked the guy, but they never said, "Is this for your dad?" or "Your dad's going to have a good weekend," or "Your mom." Just, "Here you go, son."
Yep. The reason we asked, what did you find out it was illegal after you did it? 10 of the wackiest Washington State laws that you won't believe. It is illegal in Washington State to catch fish by throwing rocks at them. The ancient practice has been outlawed. Many say this was done in an effort to protect fish from harm and preserve the local ecosystem. Others claims it was because fishermen were just getting too competitive and causing too much damage. So whatever the reason may be, just remember, if you see like a salmon in a shallow stream bed or whatever, if you throw a rock at it, that is illegal. It is illegal to carry a concealed weapon that is over 6 feet in length.
And good luck doing that.
What is that, a musket?
I mean, I'm just trying to think.
6 foot in length, like Jesus.
What are they concealing it in? Who pulled that off?
Yeah. Actual laws in Washington State. No free grapes in grocery stores. No live hypnotized people allowed in a store window.
Then where else will we put them?
It's against the law to display a hypnotized person in a store window. It's also illegal to display an allegedly hypnotized person.
How many citations do you think they've given out for hypnotized people in a store window?
Another one. Strippers must be at least 4 feet from the customer.
Mm-hmm.
4 feet.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. If you got a lap dance, you're living on the edge.
Against the law to ride an ugly horse.
Who makes that determination?
This is only in Wilbur, Washington. On Waldron Island, you can only have 2 toilets in your home because the building code states that no building structure shall contain more than 2 potable water toilets for the conservation of water.
All right.
Don't drink and dance in Linden, Washington.
Well, if you've been to Linden, there's not a lot of dancing.
In Seattle, no fish bowls on a bus. Whistle for a lost...
What if I have no fish in it?
That's got to be left over from like when there was actual nightclubs at Pioneer Square. You could have a fishbowl full of liquor.
Did I tell you what happened to... oh, my God. So, I think I did tell you guys. This guy was transporting an aquarium, but he had a couple of fish in it. Right. So he did not drain the aquarium all the way, but he drained it most of the way enough where they could pick it up and put it in the back of this SUV.
Yeah.
All right? I don't know what happened. If the water, as the water was squishing back and forth, it broke one of the sides to the aquarium. All the water filled in the back of this SUV, which was also a hybrid electric model.
Oh.
The water went down on the battery, and literally the car started melting on the side of the road. The car is gone. It caught fire because of the water. It still burned through all that salt water, and it basically melted the car on the side. Brand new car.
So it's like the Wicked Witch of the West.
This is like the kind of car the Castle has.
Yeah.
This is like a big SUV, but it just has wherever the battery sits, flooded the damn thing. The car melted on the interstate.
Damn.
Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up, we got the categories of the top 10 favorite cereals and the best baseball players that ever played the game. And we'll get your emails coming up next from the men's room at KISW.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Zero Foxtrot isn't just a brand, it's a way of life. Founded and operated by veterans, Zero Foxtrot's unique apparel and gear echoes the grit of the warrior culture. Zero Foxtrot dedicates itself to producing content, honoring the sacrifices of forgotten heroes of the past, and connecting history to the present. Embark on a journey with Zero Foxtrot today at zerofoxtrot.com. It's not merely our products, it's about the ethos that we embody. Rugged, resilient, and timeless.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Zero Foxtrot isn't just a brand, it's a way of life. Founded and operated by veterans, Zero Foxtrot's unique apparel and gear echoes the grit of the warrior culture. Zero Foxtrot dedicates itself to producing content, honoring the sacrifices of forgotten heroes of the past, and connecting history to the present. Embark on a journey with Zero Foxtrot today at zerofoxtrot.com. It's not merely our products, it's about the ethos that we embody. Rugged, resilient, and timeless.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Your guess is as good as mine. Cut out the categories delicious, cereal, and baseball. But first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Couple from our random question on using the bathroom in places that aren't the bathroom. Guys, my dad and I were duck hunting on the mouth of the Skagit River.
Yeah, you were.
Usually hunted on a sandbar, but we tied up to a snag in the sound.
On the Skagit. Seen that before.
I had to take a crap and ask my dad to take over to the island. He said, go over to the boat, so I did. Waves kept splashing me in the ass, and my dad just laughed his ass off. Guys, by the way, not an IPA drinker, but the new Black Raven Men's Room IPA is awesome. Rock on, guys.
All right, man.
Milton. Bitches, one summer my friend and I worked at a Christmas tree farm, basically trimmed trees all day in the middle of nowhere. Short story long, I told a buddy I got to poop and left. Pooped, came back. He asked me if I was missing a sock now from, Yeah. I laughed and said no. End of the day, we're cracking a cold one in the tree fields, packing our crap back into my car. He says, why is my sweatshirt missing a sleeve? I cut his sleeve off with my printing shears. Good times.
Damn, man.
That from the trick. As we move on to the birthdays. Guys, emailing you guys to wish Tyler an amazing 11th birthday. He loves rock climbing and snowboarding, but living in Florida, we have to settle for the indoor climbing gym. He's also extremely embarrassed by my dad jokes, which tells me he would really like some from Miles. So in that case, could he get an OG fish sandwich, some green beans, and some dad jokes from Miles? Lots of love that from Dad, Logan, and Regan.
2 Oregon fish sandwich.
Green bean.
What?
Green bean. Okay. Green bean. Good job. Green bean.
All right. Tyler, here you go. What would you consult if you wanted to gather opinions on horses?
Who would you consult?
What would you consult?
What would you consult? I don't know.
A Gallup poll.
Solid.
A neutron walks into a bar and asks the bartender, how much for a drink? Bartender says, for you, no charge.
Oh, it's a neutron.
By the way, this is a sad story, but I texted my girlfriend, Ruth, and I had to tell them that we're over.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so now I'm ruthless. Guys, today is my baby brother Alex's 18th birthday. Can you give him a fart or two? And Coach Ted giving him some advice on entering into adulthood. Thanks, guys. That from Andrea.
Which fish sandwich?
Fart if you got any kind of fart. Give him a
All right, adulthood. Number 1, you'll notice now when you fill out paperwork or go to get your license changed, we'll also ask you to select selective services in case you're going to get drafted. Number 2, you do crime now, you're going to have to go to big boy jail. No more baby booking. Now, the plus side is, number 3, you can go to a strip club, see some boobs.
Guys, please wish my oldest son Noah a very happy birthday with a Can I Grow Up, some skinless bangers, and the captain telling him what to watch out for on the high seas for those of us over 21. Love you guys. That from West Seattle, Josh.
Can I grow up?
Bangers.
There it is.
Mom, you have any bangers? The skinless ones so they don't upset my tummy. I need them skinless. Mom.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. Well, if you're over the age of 21 and on the old high seas, I'd recommend that you avoid the old SS Gubby, because with me and the mascots are in international waters, things change. In fact, I'll let you in on a secret. When we're in the international waters, the ladies like to call the old captain's mustache the womb broom, or the snot mop, or the flavor saver, the fanny duster, my personal favorite, my face lace. Crunch berries.
Bitches, today's my good friend, co-founder of the Negative Standards Car Club, Cameron's 28th trip around the sun. Can you get your penis is too small? And the captain, followed by the coach, giving advice on a dinner date with the Mrs. family tonight.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. It's funny you bring up a dinner date with the missus. I was with her last night. Let's just say she didn't eat anything, but I had a meal at the Y, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, that's how the captain rolls. Crunch berries.
All right, usually the coach is here for good advice, but you know what? Following that little freak known as the captain.
Ahoy.
Coach has some bad advice for you tonight. You know what I say? Hell with it. It's a Monday. Start drinking now. You show up to dinner with a strong buzz on. You order a strong cocktail and a shot. And then you tell her family what you think about them. You hold nothing back.
Nothing.
You know what? It's going to be a hell of a Tuesday.
Bitches, happy 32nd birthday to my fiance Ashley. Unfortunately, it's Monday. Don't do that ahead of me one day.
Your mother is a whore.
Love you, babe. Life is more fun with you in it. She wants a D, and she's going to get one, and maybe some dirty Germans talking about breaking in her new disc golf bag. Thanks, guys. Great seeing y'all at the Men's Room IPA Release Fest, and congrats on the new beer. That from Dre Spliffman.
She wants a D, and she's going to get one.
Oh, I hit the wrong D.
Yeah, I do not know why you call it a disc golf bag. We call it a vagina. Either way, we will be breaking it in.
I was just saying, you can call that thing whatever you want, but we're all going to have our hands inside of it.
Yeah.
And I'll break it in, if you will.
It's like sleeping with a new baseball glove, Ted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so make sure we'll leave it out overnight because it'll be plenty oiled up and wrapped in rubber bands.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Please wish my buddy Colin a very happy 42nd birthday. He could use a your penis is too small. And look out. And the Dirty Germans encouraging him to get back out there and perform all the feats that a stripping clown is obliged to perform. Yes, my son and my buddy share the same birthday. Again from West Seattle, Josh.
Uh-oh, look out. Yeah, I never thought I'd be into these clowns that strip. And then in the 1980s, Playboy put out an issue of a woman wearing clown makeup, showed her breasts, and I was like, okay, I like clowns now. I did not feel that way when Bozo exposed himself.
Yeah, well, either way, it's a stripping clown. I think the main thing is you have to prove why the shoes are so big.
Guys, want to wish my girlfriend Tony a happy 44th birthday and have those dirty Germans telling her she's still hot as a middle-aged woman should be. Love, Brady.
Yeah, you are most certainly hot like a middle-aged woman should be, because after all, you're at the age now where you know what you're doing in bed and have demands.
Yeah. Also, I like that her name is Tony. She reminds me of one of those good Italian women. Yeah. So now you get to serve it with extra sauce.
Guys, my hubby Damon loves the show. It would be great if the Dirty Germans could wish him a happy 47th birthday and tell him about how everything gets better with a little age. Love his amazing wife, Rhonda. Rock on, guys, and thank you.
Yeah, do not be fooled by this. She's not saying things get better with age to make you feel better. She's saying that because she is also getting older.
Yeah, and some things do get better. Like the fact she doesn't care where it ends up now.
Loose.
Yeah! Gentlemen,
whatever.
Please.
Hey, you know what? Sure, it's my birthday, but you have fun, honey.
What's the greatest thing you can hear in the bedroom? Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. Is that what it takes now?
Just do it.
Guys, please wish my dear friend Grady a happy 53rd birthday. Give him a big old bong rip and you guys talking all over each other about your favorite 80s guitar players. Thanks for all you do, especially for the delicious new Men's Room IPA by Black Raven Brewery. That from the THC Lone Hippie. Favorite guitar player?
It's hard to say, man. I mean, you Rose, Eddie Van Halen, Slash, even Angus Young, man, doesn't do anything incredible, but he understands exactly where he's at.
Take that guy
real
from
nerd
Poison,
like
Steve
Satriani, right?
That crazy hair. Who's the guy from Poison?
CC DeVille.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Guys,
I'll kill you.
CC DeVille for life.
I want to wish my mother-in-law, Chris, a very happy 66th trip around the sun. How about a bong rip and the Dirty Germans talking about choking on big bong rips? That from Carl and Shannon. Love the show, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, I do not know what you know about this 66-year-old woman, but I assure you, she can suck on a tube without choking. She is very good at it.
Yeah, this is also the time to warm up. Only 3 more years till you finally get to play.
Yeah.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Take a moment, time to get a test on the line for your guess is as good as mine now. Call 206-803-ROCK. In the meantime, some extra emails. Oh, boy. Hey, thank you guys seriously for all the emails we got over the weekend. As you guys are out there finding the new Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Here are some of your suggestions on where you found the beer. Guys, Smarty Pants Garage in Burien has tapped a keg of Men's Room IPA, Black Raven. They want to know how they can get you all a bunch of sandwiches. Well, Devin,
find a way.
Tell Smarty Pants Garage in Burien to send us a bunch of sandwiches.
And I will say this about Smarty Pants in Burien. We have heard nothing but good stuff about that.
Yeah, thank you guys for
I
putting
kick
that
it
on.
down in Burien a decent amount. I just haven't been there yet.
Okay. Food looks great. Old Pachols have found the Men's Room IPA at Safeway on 112th and Canyon in Tacoma. Have a great day, bitches, and happy late birthday, Steve the Thrill Hill.
Oh, thank you very much, man.
All the guys not sure if it's been mentioned yet, but finally found the IPA at the Safeway in Bellingham. That from our buddy Chase. Chase, I believe, was trying to find it last week.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, we had no locations up there, but yeah, it's made it to the Safeway as far as we know, and according to Chase. Guys found the Men's Room IPA at the Graham Safeway location, and it's a fantastic IPA. Congrats, guys. That from Justin.
Thank you very much.
There's more. Great beer, boys. My new favorite choice, or maybe just my bad habit in life. Keep up the good work from Justin. Where'd he find that at? Oh, crap. I didn't print that up, dude.
You idiot.
I can see him drinking it, smoking a bowl, and smoking meat. Apparently a good day there. No, can't find the location. Oh, well. Guys, found it at my Safeway store by Silver Furs. Can't wait to give it a try. That from Jackie.
Good stuff, brother.
Safeway on 132nd in Everett. Thanks, guys. That from our buddy Ramon. Guys, thank you so much for making the Appy Hour downloadable. That's right, episode number 3 is out now. If you're on the Odyssey app and search on that Men's Room page. I've really missed the greatest story never told. It's still up there as well. And by the way, I just found your beer at the Safeway in Liberty Lake, Washington. Thank you for doing what you do and being who you are. Sincerely, that from Dylan.
Oh, the guy even knew where that one is.
And one more. This is all they have left of the Men's Room IPA at Albertsons in Marysville. 1, 2, 3, 4 cases maybe are there. All right, time for a little Your Guess is as good as mine. It's an easy game to play. We get a contestant on the line. You pick from one of 2 categories. Try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. So who's ready to play? Your guess is as good as mine.
I'm glad you asked, Miles. Please welcome Rainier. Hello, Rainier. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola. Rainier, welcome to the program. And your guess is as good as mine.
Well, thank you.
All right, Rainier, here's your categories. We have the top 10 favorite breakfast cereals. Truth be told, the list has 20 different cereals on it. If you get 10 right out of the 20, I'll give it to you. And next, in honor of opening day on Thursday with your Seattle Mariners, the 10 greatest baseball players of all times. So do you want to go baseball there, Rainier, or cereal?
Ooh, they're both tempting, but since I'm going to opening day, I think I'm going to try my hand at baseball this time.
All right, Rainier.
Oh, nice.
Now, I don't know if you heard my clue earlier, but I want you to think old-timey on this. And if you've got pen
what are
and
the
paper,
qualifications?
Bob Costas.
Yeah. Oh, let's see here. History and consistency make it a bit easier to compare players from much different eras based on statistics.
All right.
Okay.
And the similarity of the sport not changing as much over the years. So baseball is the least changed sport as far as statistics are concerned.
Yeah.
Like if you look at Terry Bradshaw, he might have been 14 of 22 in a Super Bowl. You know,
but also you can pick him up, turn him upside down, and spike him off of his head.
Exactly. All right, Rainier, here's your clue. We have 1 New York Yankee on the list. We have 2 Red Sox, 2 Giants, 1 Atlanta Brave, 1 Pittsburgh Pirate, 1 Washington Senator, 1 Detroit Tiger, and 1 St. Louis Cardinal on the list of the greatest baseball players of all times.
Ooh, okay. So 1 Yankee.
Gotta be Ruth.
Skip him for now.
And you gotta go old.
The Cardinal has to be Stan Musial.
Maybe, Rainier, depending on how old you are, you have seen
like
1. You've seen maybe 2 of these players play live out of the 10.
Ted Williams.
I'm going to start with the Red Sox.
Okay.
So
Teddy Ballgame.
I'll go with Ted Williams.
Ted Williams is number 4. All right.
Red Sox. Pesky?
Nope. Not on the list.
Not him. Okay.
This is one of the guys that you might have had a chance to see play in your lifetime.
Oh, now my coworker might kill me if I don't say his name. Yastrzemski.
Not Carl Yastrzemski.
Wow. Tell your coworker to shut the hell up.
No Jim Rice, no Carl Yastrzemski, none from that era. More of a current day player, but not really. I think his last game was maybe a decade and a half ago.
It's not Ortiz.
He's kind of a D-bag.
Okay, so I got 2 strikes on me. So, yeah.
Kurt Schilling.
Oh, no, not that D-bag. Another D-bag.
Oh, boy.
I mean, it's Red Sox. It's Boston.
I'll tell you what, dude. Why don't you go to some of the other teams before you go to the Red Sox?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on them for now. So, hey, Ted, did you say Ruth?
Yeah, he's got to be the one Yankee. Just get it out of the way.
Yeah, I'll go with the Babe.
All right, Babe's number 1.
Yeah.
He is the greatest baseball player of all time. Now, you do have 2 New York Giants players on the list.
San Francisco.
I'm sorry, San Francisco Giants. Correct.
Well, they might have been.
1 you had a possibility of watching play. The other made the greatest over-the-shoulder catch of all times as far as the history of baseball.
No. I can't remember his name now.
Willie Mays.
Oh, boy.
Center fielder.
Mays. I'll go with Mays.
Mays is number 2. on the list.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right. Did you guys mention if the Dodgers may be on this list or no?
No LA Dodgers.
Or Brooklyn?
No Brooklyn Dodgers.
Why are you just making stuff up, Rainier? Come on, man. What are you doing?
Oh, come
You've
on.
got your one New York player in Babe Ruth, and you're done with New York.
All right, if there's two Giants, one was Mays, the other one is probably Barry Bonds.
That was my thought.
Ooh.
Because like you said, you had a chance of seeing him play.
And who said Musial? Was that Mike?
No, that was me. If there's a Cardinal, it's probably Stan Musial.
I'll go with Stan Musial.
Number 8, Stan the Man. Yep.
All right.
I have an autograph of Stan Musial.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was actually he signed a restraining order against Miles, but he just cut out where he signed it.
We got like Mark McGuire be on this list.
Who would be the second greatest Cardinal of all time? Bob Gibson? Who would you say, Ted?
I think Mike is right. It could be Mark McGuire. Maybe Albert Pujols.
Yep. Mark McGuire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pujols.
Okay. Yeah, there's a number of them. Okay, so I'm going to try to help you out here, Rainier, before you get too screwed, okay?
Okay.
So you got Babe Ruth as far as the Yankee is concerned. So far, you've got both of the Giants. Oh, no, you've only got one of the Giants.
Okay.
Oh, Barry Bonds. You did get Barry Bonds, right?
No, he did not.
He didn't
but
say
everyone knows.
You didn't guess
Barry
I haven't
Bonds.
said him yet.
Well, okay,
I'm
well,
gonna go
just
with,
say it.
Hammer and Hank.
Hank Aaron, number 5.
All right, good call.
Okay. So you've got Atlanta out of the way. There's
All
a
right.
Pittsburgh Pirate on the list, but this goes way, way, way back in time.
So pre-Willie.
Pre-Roberto Clemente. This is an old school baseball player.
Is it a famous baseball card, Miles?
It is the most famous baseball card and the hardest one to get.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Hornus.
I may not have heard of him.
He played in
Hornus.
1909.
Hornus Wagner.
Honest. It's just not but I don't know if it's onus. It is onus.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mickey Mantle.
Oh, no, Yankees are already done, Mike.
Yeah, they are done.
Yep.
Shut up, Mike.
I'm just here throwing curveballs.
Okay, give us one, man. It's the most valuable baseball card and will forever be, based on the fact that it was in a cigar pack and with a limited release.
Oh, man. I didn't follow baseball that
It's Wagner.
that long.
The American Tobacco
I'll go with
Company.
Wagner. Yeah, I'll go with Wagner.
You should go with what Ted told you 5 times. Honest Wagner. Honest Wagner is number 9.
Sorry.
He was really trying, but you just weren't listening. Kind of like your teachers told you your entire life. Just listen to what the freaking teacher tells you.
Ted is like your GPS. Go straight. Go straight.
There's another.
Go straight.
There's another Giant on the list there, Rainier.
I would bet
Ted
my
told you about 5 times.
I would bet my bottom dollar
go
that
with
it's Barry
Bonds.
Bonds.
I'll go with
He's,
Bonds.
he's number 3. There we go. So far, we are correct with Babe Ruth, number 1, Willie Mays, number 2, Barry Bonds, number 3, Ted Williams, number 4, Hank Aaron, number 5, and Stan the Man at 8. We have Honest Wagner at number 9. We have one more Red Sox. We have one more Detroit Tiger, one more Washington Senator remaining on the list. He led the AL in strikeouts more often than not. He had 21 years pitching for the Washington Senators. They call him Big Train. He was the man back in the day. He threw 110 complete game shutouts, the most in Major League history.
Damn.
That record will never be broken.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, man.
did
That
get
was
a
before
text-
my time, unfortunately.
We did get a text for Cy Young.
No Cy Young.
No Cy Young.
Nah.
But we have people that won his award that are still on the list.
Now I'm blanking on that award, too. Jesus.
That's for pitchers.
Any suggestions, you guys?
I don't know. All I can think of is the
know,
Cy
man.
Young, but it's not the Cy Young, so I don't know who the other guy is.
Cy Young winner would be the guy who played for the Red Sox. It was kind of a D-bag.
D-bag.
I mean, in my mind, he was.
And he's not modern day, right?
I mean, it was the way he played. He might not be a bad person, but the way he played.
It's Roger Clemens.
He threw at people's heads.
Yeah, it's Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens?
Yes.
I'll go with Roger Clemens.
Number 10. Okay. You have 2 left out of 10. So far, not bad, man. You've been coached well. One played for the Detroit Tigers, a legendary player.
Oh, Ty Cobb.
I'll go with Cobb, Mike.
That's number 7.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
Good job, man. Way to pull that out. One more left from the all but long gone Washington Senators. He was so great, he led the AL in strikeouts more often than not. He topped the league 12 times over the course of 21 years. Pitched his entire professional life for the Senators. Big Train threw 110 career complete game shutouts, and the most in Major League history.
Oh, God.
Ted's going to kick himself.
Oh, I'm not going to kick myself because I've never heard of this guy.
Who was the greatest offensive tackle for the Seattle Seahawks?
I don't even know that either.
Walter Jones. This guy shares the same first name.
Walter
Johnson?
Cronkite?
Yeah,
Walter Johnson?
Walter Johnson.
Number 6.
There you go.
There you go. 10 for 10. All right, here you go. The 10 greatest baseball players of all time.
All time.
Roger Clemens to the Red Sox, 10. Otis Wagner to the Pirates, 9. Stan the Man. Number 8 for the Cardinals. Ty Cobb for the Tigers, 7. 6 is Walter Johnson from the Senators. Hank Aaron at 5. Hammer and Hank. Ted Williams, 4. Barry Bonds, 3. Willie Mays, 2. Babe Ruth, number 1.
Yep.
Nice job. Shot of the Day's coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. So there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up in minutes, we'll drink and toast with the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. The state of New York has introduced a bill that'll decriminalize adultery. You may have heard some of these stories earlier today. Which,
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's not great, but I don't think you need a criminal charge against somebody that steps out.
And it was a misdemeanor, and it was all the way back in the early 1900s, and it was meant to.
But it's still in the books. You can sue somebody.
You absolutely can.
Look, your significant other will take care of that for you.
Yeah, don't worry.
I don't know. It's like being a juvenile. Do you want us to call your parents or spend a night in juvie? Like, I would really rather spend a night in juvie,
in Washington
man.
State, you could have sex with every single person in the state.
Oh, yeah.
And it's still no fault.
All
you
good.
didn't do anything wrong. I don't think you should be able to sue them. But as far as the settlement goes, I mean, you should get some leniency on that.
Well, bet.
I don't.
It's Ladies' Day in Sweden, and locals are celebrating by eating waffles. Do you know why, Ted?
I mean, I know Swedish people love their waffles.
They do indeed, but it's actually because of a mispronunciation a long time ago. So the word, the Swedish word for Ladies' Day is very similar to the Swedish word for Waffles Day.
So they eat waffles on Ladies' Day?
Pretty much.
All right.
Okay.
I feel like there's something that we have. I can't put my finger on it what we've got here, but it's one of those where the words are close enough. We have words that sound alike, so it's like, all right, yeah,
sure. But I feel like we don't necessarily celebrate both just because they sound the same.
I mean, it's like eating a clementine at Christmas time.
All right, you know what? Yeah,
off the top of my head, it's the closest I can get.
Exactly. It's Christmas time, so we eat clementines. Absolutely. That's pretty much exactly what it is. It's not like anybody's like, it's Waffles Day. No, it's Ladies' Day, and we eat waffles because it kind of sounds like Waffles Day.
All right. I mean,
dude.
Yeah, there's never really a bad time. Like, oh, it sucks. I had a waffle.
Right. You know what? That's a good point, Ted. If somebody just walked in here like, who wants a waffle? Like, damn right.
I will take one.
Yeah.
Well, and hot syrup, too. Damn, man. Get in here.
Right.
Let's go. New research suggests humans transmit more viruses to animals than the other way around.
Okay.
I think because we're always touching them.
You're giving your dog COVID.
Oh, that's a good point. We are always
I think that's the difference. Like, if I go outside and a raccoon is skittish and hisses, doesn't want anything, its head's stuck in the jar, next thing you know, I'm touching the raccoon.
Exactly.
We can't keep our hands off of things that we think are cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the long and short of it, right?
Well, and we pet and we hug and we kiss our animals all the doggone time, and we don't stand it from no, get away from me.
We're worried about them for licking their butt, and they're like, dude, you are a petri dish of disease.
We walk around, grab all these door handles, barely wash our hands when we're leaving out of the bathroom.
We pet your dog.
That's right.
Hey, didn't you just poop?
Uh-huh.
You're petting my head, man.
One of my favorite comic book characters of all time was Garfield, and there was one distinct thing that Garfield hated more than anything. You guys all know what it is.
Oh, yeah, Mondays.
Damn straight, and I'm like it, man. I hate the Mondays. However, there's a way to make it better.
The Men's Room Top 10.
It's a long way to go.
The Men's Room Top 10.
10 ways to make your Monday better. Are we really that concerned about how bad Mondays are?
Yes.
You know what you did to yourself on Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday that resulted in the position you are in on Monday. But I know this is about how to make Mondays better. Well, is the sun over the yardarm somewhere? I suggest 2 fingers of some delicious brown. And no, I'm not referring to Thrill.
But you should be. You should be.
2 inches.
Oh, God. So this is how to make your Mondays better. They actually break it down into 2 different things as far as to how to plan ahead for better Mondays and how to cope with a bad Monday. So let's start with how to plan ahead for better Mondays. At the very bottom of the list, they basically say to address your anxiety. If you get particularly anxious on Mondays, it may be helpful to address your anxiety. They recommend taking some time to sit with the feeling of dread and challenging the negative thoughts that make you feel anxious. Ask yourself, what evidence do you have that this week will be a bad one? Everything that's telling me it's going to be a bad week.
Yeah, I see. Instead of try to find some hard evidence.
Exactly.
That's the thought.
If you could control anxiety, it wouldn't be a thing.
That's like Miles was a good point.
I never, if I could just talk my way out of a headache.
Right.
I can't.
Why does my head hurt?
I can't stop it. Like, there could be a number of reasons why I have one. Tension, something I ate, being dehydrated, all these things. But if you have a panic attack or anxiety, the hardest thing to do is know that you are not in control of your own body.
You just need to stop. You just need to calm down.
I wish I could just, it's like saying, like, I should go to bed right now.
Exactly.
No, that's not how my body works.
My wife can do that.
Well,
I can do that. She will be wide awake. We're watching something on TV, and she goes, okay, I'm going to sleep. Before I can even say goodnight. It's like, you've got to be
We're
kidding
committed,
me.
dude. We are.
Do you think the same thing?
Oh, yeah. Pisses my wife off something fierce.
It's because everyone else, I'm going to bed, but that's 15 to 20 minutes of me laying here, and then eventually I would drift off to sleep.
Sure.
My wife says she's going to sleep. Like, she does not mean I'm going to bed. She literally means I am going to sleep.
Yeah. I have a cousin that can do it on planes. And God, I'm so jealous. I can never sleep on planes. And like, if you're sitting next to him, just like, all right, man, we got about 2 hours. I'll talk to you later. I mean, just has this little routine, puts his head down, and he's out.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I wish I could sleep on planes. That's the one place that I can't get it done. I've done it from time to time. I have to be exhausted, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Organizing a fun treat.
A fun treat?
Basically, you organize something fun for later on in the week.
Okay.
All right.
Prep on Friday. Again, these are the ways to plan ahead for better Mondays. It'll be it can be helpful to spend a little time on Friday prepping for Monday, planning for a challenging task that lie ahead to give you a sense of agency and control.
That very true. Very true. It's also tough because on Friday,
I want to think about Monday.
You want to just get the hell out of there.
I spend Sunday thinking about Monday. I don't need Friday ruined.
I mean, man, I always prepare for Monday on Friday. I do. Before we even go on the air, what I need for Monday, for the most part, is done, but it does not make me feel any better Sunday night.
No.
Like, yay, I did this, but I'm going back to work.
Avoid scheduling.
I mean, I was going to say, too, like, look, I love Friday night, right?
Yeah.
Friday night is fun. You got the whole weekend ahead of you. Even if you have stuff planned, you're just like, all right, it's Friday night. And then to me, Sunday morning generally is kind of the best because you're like, it's Sunday. Whatever. But as soon as you finally get up for the day on Sunday, that clock starts ticking. You're Monday's around the corner.
Yeah.
Avoid scheduling heavy meetings on Monday morning. We used to work with somebody who, if I screwed up on Friday, he'd shoot me an email. Come see me on Monday. And I
dude, it's already Monday.
Ruined my whole weekend.
Can you just wait or tell me Monday morning?
Yes.
Do not tell me Friday that I screwed up. It's fine. Just wait.
I mean, just come talk to me right now, dude. It's okay. I'll recover. Don't make me wait the entire damn weekend.
I think, Mike, we were talking about it last week. I mean, that's kind of one exciting thing. Not one. There's a lot of exciting things about football, but that's kind of like Monday Night Football is like the one thing. Even like tonight, like I'll go home and watch some women's hoops, but like the only sport you're like, all right, it's Monday. There's football on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're excited about it. Can't wait for Monday.
Sleep early Sunday night.
Yep. If you can.
And that's the best way to plan ahead for better Mondays. And I do agree with that. Sunday's the recovery day. Friday and Saturday, let loose, have a great old time. Sunday, you're drinking a lot of water, a lot of electrolytes, you're eating healthy, and then you're getting to bed on time.
So if there's any night I'm going to stay up late, it is Sunday night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I always just postpone the inevitable. Crushing beers, doing the whole thing.
You just like to be tortured throughout the week, don't you?
It's not that, man. A lot of it is I want to wake up on Monday the way I assume I will feel the rest of the week. As dumb as that sounds, but like you wake up, you're not quite hung over, but obviously you had some booze.
Okay.
And I go, okay, this is what work feels like to me. So it sounds dumb, but when I feel just a little lethargic or a little gray or a little heavy, to me, that's a work day. Like, all right, let's go get it.
I always try to do it on Saturdays. I never seem to do it. Even if I'm not doing anything, I still stay up too late on Saturdays. But Sunday is the one night usually even if I'm not going to sleep, I'll watch little Foods That Built America in bed.
Yeah, we're crashing. So these are these are ways that you can cope with a bad Monday here. They say get some exercise. Getting moving is a great way to lift your spirits. And again, that's if you plan ahead. Most of the time when I wake up on Monday, I wake up, walk the dog, get showered up, and head on in here. I got stuff that I got to do.
Yeah.
I want the time to exercise, but I'd have to get up too early, and I just don't care.
It's the only day of the week I don't.
Oh, yeah?
I give myself a Monday off.
Hell yeah.
I had my fun. I'm tired. I got to go to work.
Right. Too much crap.
Hell with it.
Doing something fun, whether it's treating yourself to lunch, meeting up with a friend after work, or getting a massage, or watching your favorite show before bedtime, try and do something you enjoy. I can agree with that.
I always try to do something I enjoy. It just doesn't always work out.
Eat a healthy breakfast. Try and eat a healthy and nutritious breakfast that includes feel-good foods. It could be a stuffed omelet, a yogurt granola bowl, egg muffins, a green smoothie, or whatever else you like. Hell yeah, I'm in.
All right. Other than the egg muffin, all of that sounded awful.
I love breakfast, dude.
I like breakfast, just not the breakfast they'll recommend me.
Number 2, they say get dressed up.
On Monday.
On a Monday morning, we tend to just grab the closest thing and wear it because we can't be bothered. However, getting a little dressed up as though it's a special occasion can make us feel more positive and confident.
You always feel better when you look better.
Agreed. Dress for confidence. Dress for success. But then the number 1 way to cope with a bad Monday, that bad, dirty, naughty little Monday, start your day with meditation. It's a powerful way to start your day. Research shows that meditation improves brain function and changes the brain in several positive ways.
I believe that, just don't have the time or patience.
Pretty much.
Actually, I'm sure I have the time.
Well, hold on.
I don't have the patience.
Dead serious. If you've tried it, can you achieve it?
What do you mean?
Have you tried to meditate into an area where your breathing slows down? All those things. Do you successfully do it? Or are you just sitting still with your legs crossed in a quiet room?
Right.
Do you actually...
About to say, I'm not positive that I know what meditation is.
When I was younger, I could, like in my 20s, I could pull it off. What I found now as an adult, I'm a big visualization guy. So if I know I have something coming up tomorrow, when I go to bed, that's what's on my mind. And I prioritize it as this is the order you will do this. And I found when I wake up, it makes my life a lot easier. Just like, this is done, this is done, this is done. And
I think meditation could also be a state. So, like, you think about it, it's just sitting there in a quiet room with your legs crossed. Like, for me, a lot of times, it's like walking to the train or walking to work. Like, I won't even think about it. I feel like people are like, dude, I yelled your name. You didn't even pay attention to me. It's like, right, because you're just kind of zoned out.
Yeah, right.
Thinking.
If you can do it. It's just a hard thing to achieve. Like, a lot of people do it by floating. There's a number of ways you can try to do it. I've done it twice where I've actually succeeded, and I realized I was in a meditative state. I don't know how I got there. It's just like, I've been trying so hard to do it. It never happened. Then it happened. I was like, okay, I get it now, but it's hard to get to.
Sure. It's got to shut off your brain, man.
I know, but that's
possible. It's hard. But it's like compartmentalizing, right? So you got a bad day outside of work, or you got to go to work. No one would know unless you tell them.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing. You compartmentalize everything.
On top of that, I've also heard that stretching is a great way to start your day as well. Just stretch yourself.
Well, yoga is a somewhat form of meditation.
It's just not. It's not yoga.
Right, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't need to be yoga stretches, but do it. Look it up on YouTube. There's 10-minute stretch tutorials, or you stretch every muscle on your body, and you feel great when you walk out the door. A couple suspects stole $9,000 worth of merchandise from a grocery store, and you won't believe what they decided to steal. Miles,
what'd they steal?
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, it's going to contest on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. All right, of a minute to drinking time.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood. Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Top Class Actions alert. In a groundbreaking move for the payment industry, Visa and MasterCard have come together for a historic $5.6 billion settlement. Top Class Actions is connecting business owners who accepted Visa or MasterCard from January 1st, 2004 to January 25th, 2019 to their share of this $5.6 billion settlement. Claim your share today at topclassactions.com/Visa. That's topclassactions.com/Visa.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we chose 33-year-old Matthew Ornelas Jr. of Kauai, Hawaii. Now, Matthew was serving time at the Kauai Community Correctional Center following his conviction for drug dealing. Now, we don't know how long he was sentenced or how much time he'd already served, but Matthew determined that he was sentenced too long and that he had already served long enough. At least that's what we're assuming based on the fact that he chose to escape from prison. So at around 1 o'clock this morning, he managed to escape and cover the 100 yards to the highway, where he was promptly hit by a dark-colored vehicle. Not only did the car hit him, the car then failed to stop or render aid. Instead, it flipped a U-turn, got the hell out of there. In the meantime, Matthew was taken to the hospital in serious condition, where he will recover. They fully expect him to, and then go back to jail for slightly longer because you add trying to escape prison onto his rap sheet. That's like instant karma, dude. He got out, 100 yards to the highway, boom. There were some witnesses. They said, man, whatever hit him,
they'll be able to find the car that hit him.
U-turn.
Kauai, I mean, rental car or not, they'll be able to find that person.
I'm sure they will.
That's the most least populated Hawaiian island.
But you ask yourself the question based on, if you're an authority figure, whatever, you're still a human being. Are you looking that hard? Right? Normally you would.
No.
Like, yeah. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola, bichona!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Yes, Stephen Thrill Hill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. That's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Jack. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores. All right, Jack Attack. You understand how this here game is played?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. You have a choice of one of three stories today. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? Interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. And finally, autoerotica, where you guess the vehicle involved in the crime.
That's a new one. Okay, let's do autoerotica.
All right, here is your story. We go to Vermont, where a Burlington man has been arrested by police for multiple assaults and robberies in the area. 52-year-old Eric Edson. He's been on the run for more than a week. Now, Edson was caught around 1 p.m. last Thursday after a brief foot chase in Georgia, Vermont. Now, the incident began when Burlington police were called to check on a man who was passed out in a running vehicle in the North End neighborhood. But also the vehicle matched a description of one that was used in an armed robbery a week prior. When the police confronted the man, police said he became belligerent, uncooperative, and then drove off, assaulting both officers with his vehicle. Later that night, the same vehicle was found at the North Avenue Cooperative. Police saw the man, but he fled, and then he stole a bicycle. Multiple people reported seeing him with a gun. The man then made his way to another location where he stole yet another vehicle. Authorities were able to stop that vehicle, but the man left it behind and was believed to be hiding in the trees on a cliff. Officers attempted to negotiate with him. Heavily armed officers arrived, and eventually he was arrested. But the question is, after the car and the bicycle, what was the other vehicle that he stole? Was it a semi-truck, a UPS truck, a police-issued Segway, in other words, parking enforcement, or a sailboat? So semi-truck, UPS truck, police-issued Segway, or a sailboat?
Okay, well, he was on the road, right?
Yeah, so they found him in a running vehicle, passed out. That vehicle had been an armed robbery, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with, now since UPS never locks their stuff, I'm going to go UPS truck.
UPS for Jack. Okay.
I mean, they leave it running, they leave it open. Oh, yeah.
And I kind of want to say sailboat because it's Vermont.
Mm-hmm. But I'm going sailboat. Lake Champlain, he's on top of a cliff. He's still a boat. I don't think he probably used a trolling motor. But either way, I mean that's one of the biggest lakes in that area that's not a Great Lake.
Yeah, I don't know. Just because it sounds funny, I'll go police Segway.
Police Segway. Okay, what did this guy try to escape in? A semi-truck, a UPS truck, a police-issued Segway, or a sailboat? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories autoerotic on profile. This got a Vermont man who was arrested for being passed out in a running vehicle. Same one used in a prior robbery.
Yes.
He takes off, steals multiple vehicles before he finally gets in the one that he thinks is going to get him to a safe haven. Unfortunately, that did not work out either. He was arrested on the side of a cliff.
Yeah, where he's trying to hide from the police.
Question is, was he hijacking a semi, a UPS truck, a police-issued Segway, or a sailboat?
Jack, that's the question we asked you. Let us start with D. Ted Smith.
Oh, damn.
You remember the which, let's face it, that was the long shot, but still, it would be so awesome.
We all look
deep
at it.
down, we all want it to be a Segway. It was not a Segway. Jack, you pointed out, hey, man, UPS, they leave their S running, keys in the car, et cetera, et cetera. Not a UPS, however. And Miles, you went with the sailboat to say, man, it's near Lake Champlain, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you are correct.
Okay.
We went from a car to a bicycle to a sailboat. The cops were just like, we're starting to get sick of this. It's like we are starting to get sick.
Yeah, Miles makes a good point. Even if he has the little engine, you're not going to get away really fast.
That's called desperation, Ted. How many guys do we hear about, like, especially on Mississippi bordering states, they'll do something to roughen the cops, they get in a boat, and they're going to go across the Mississippi. When the cops grab their walkie-talkie, like, yeah, if you're on the other side, look for this guy. And then they get out of the boat and they try to swim. They're like, okay, he's now drowning. We need to rescue this guy. And eventually, they're arrested.
Good times. Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right. Your choices today, front of the house lobby printer, please, Mike.
Oh, my bad.
Thank you. Your choices are Bill Maher.
Bill Maher. B-I-L-L?
B-I-L-L-M-A-H-E-R.
Bill Maher.
I thought it was just M-A-H-R.
No.
M-A-H-E-R.
Hold on. You've been spelling it wrong the entire time?
Apparently,
that's why you get it wrong every time.
You got the Jimmies.
Fallon and Kimmel.
You also have Weekend Update.
Hold on. W-E-E-K-E-N-D.
Damn it. It is M-H-A-E-R.
Are you helping or you really didn't know?
Honest to God, I thought it was M-A-H-R.
I know, Mouse. I know you're helping.
No, but my ignorance, my stalling is rooted in ignorance.
It is nice.
So I got Weekend Update. I got Bill Maher. I got Jimmy Kimmel, Fallon. Seth Meyers.
Or Ted Smith.
Okay, then.
Thanks, Mike.
Or is it late night?
It's right there. The title of guys have teams of talents and writers help them come up with monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
He's a runner, he's a track star. In an effort to attract wealthier customers, Walmart is going to start selling high-end products. It's very fancy.
Oh, sorry.
Now the Walmart greeter wears a tuxedo T-shirt.
I'm going to say Fallon.
Seth.
Fallon.
In an effort to attract wealthier shoppers, Walmart is going to start selling high-end products. Ooh. It's very fancy. Now the Walmart greeter is wearing a tuxedo T-shirt.
Mike has one. Every time he wears it, I go, I'm so jealous. 43. I've just never bought one.
How are you jealous? I've seen Mike wear it. And it's funny, I get it, and it's always event appropriate, but jealous? I don't know if that's the word.
I just buy one. I just have it.
You're more likely to buy a tuxedo before you actually just buy
I just want the ruffled one with a bow tie T-shirt. That way I can put an actual jacket over top of it.
That is the way to go.
There's a big antitrust suit against Apple. It's all about how Apple abusing their power to have a monopoly. Android people can't send a message easily to the Apple people. I mean, I'm not from the generation that built their personality and what phones they own. Kids come up to me and say, you're still using an iPhone 11? Yeah, and I have a vacuum cleaner from 2019. Should I go drown myself?
Bill Maher.
Yeah, Bill Maher.
Yeah, that's Bill Maher. Pretty simple.
Antitrust suit against Apple. Have you been following this? Oh, this is very important. It's all about Apple, abusing their power to have a monopoly. The Android people can't send a message easily to the Apple people. I mean, I'm not from the generation that built its personality about what phone you own. So, kids come up to me like, you're still using iPhone 11? Yeah, and my vacuum cleaner's from 2019. Should I drown myself?
Does anyone recognize what year my iPhone is from?
Well, you lose them all the time. You have 3 cameras on the back, so it's not that bad.
That's what I thought. My kids, about a month ago, thought it was hilarious that this is a phone. Because they're like, is that an 11? I'm like, I don't know. Is it a 12? Guys, honest to God, I don't know. They know all the models. They know the cameras, but they thought it was hysterical that this is my
it looks
phone.
like normal, newer one to me.
But it's not, Ted. It's not. They know.
A new poll asked people how old they were when they first started swearing on a regular basis, and frankly, it's none of their effing business.
I hope that's you.
Ted Smith.
That is me.
Yeah.
10.
I saw, the answer is 10.
The first time I dropped that I remember, my parents had said, we're going out to do something. I don't remember what it was. I thought they'd left. I was angry at my brother about something arbitrary. It's near Christmas. He'd been wrapping gifts in my room. So just to get at him, like, Adrian, top of my lungs, you left all your ass in my bedroom. And my brother, real quiet, and he smiles and goes, Mom and Dad haven't left yet. It was not an awesome moment for me. I hear my dad's footsteps, and I'm like, he said, did you say what I think you just said? Me being me. What do you think I just said? That was the wrong response.
The big solar eclipse is coming up, and I saw that ABC and National Geographic are putting together a live 2-hour special for the event. And then we'll have to wait another week for the Eclipse Tells All special.
Man, I wish I was you, Ted, but I feel like that's going to be Fallon.
Yeah, it should be Fallon.
Guys, the big solar eclipse is coming up. Ooh. And I saw that ABC and National Geographic are partnering to produce a 2-hour live special for the event. Yeah. And then we'll have to wait another week for the Eclipse Tells All special.
I think our weather's screwed for the Aurora Borealis.
You don't say.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that Bill Maher joke, the Apple thing, I didn't really know about that till this weekend. And I'm like, look, I think monopolies are bad for the average consumer.
Absolutely.
Right. And look, we've gotten rid of some of the antitrust stuff that's come back, and we see it because there's plenty of, I mean, look at our industry, right? There's basically three
companies that own them all, right? I mean, that's the long and short.
Thank you, Bill Clinton.
I know, right? I mean, that
he's the
was.
one.
But with Apple, I'm like, but that's their tech. So that's why I'm like, I don't know, like I got one is I wanted to be able to FaceTime people, right? I love my Droid. I think it's an easier system to work with. But also, like, I don't know that you could sue Apple for antitrust. It's like, it's their tech.
That's the thing I feel weird about. Like, I get what they're saying, but what Apple did, whether you think it's good or not, irrelevant, but they put out a product that's come to dominate.
Yeah.
But, right, this is what we put out, and a bunch of people want to use it as where, like you said, the radio industry, almost any industry, but use radio because we get it, used to be mom and pops and all this. These things already existed. These things already served a purpose. These things were already a social tool, and then everyone got bought out. So you go like, right, you've taken something away from people. With Apple, like, but we did this. Like, this doesn't exist if we didn't do it. It's not a monopoly. It's that a lot of people like our product. I don't think you owe anyone an apology. And look, I'm sure they do shady stuff on the side. Don't care. But generally speaking, like, if people like the iPhone, it's because they like the iPhone. This is not a monopoly. We did.
Like the airlines, right? It's basically, you got to, you know what I mean? You can be like, oh, I don't like this company. But it's like, good luck. There's certain places you don't like. They own them all, right?
They own them all.
Even the giant beer companies, it's like, when people are like, I don't want to drink Bud Light, it's like, well, good luck, because if you're drinking Modelo or blah, 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 you're probably still helping NBEV.
But that's where the airlines, I think, and the beer industry got smart. So, like, there's very few owners of all these different things, but, like, hey, keep your company name. So if you don't like blank, they don't necessarily know that all the money's coming to us anyway. And beer, like you said, especially with InBev, these guys, InBev, on average, profits, this is after you pay your taxes, pay all the stuff, $92 billion a year. There's a good chance you're drinking InBev.
Yeah. All right, speaking of money, Jerry Seinfeld, now a billionaire. This won't shock you. Most of the fortune came from the show. According to Bloomberg, Jerry's made $465 million in syndication deals alone.
Jesus.
Another $95 million from his Netflix streaming deal. That was also the reason it took forever to get it on DVDs and stuff, because Jerry and Larry owned the rights to syndicate the TV stuff.
Right.
But they didn't own all the rights to syndicate it to DVDs and to streaming services. The other people on the show, finally, Jerry cut him in and said, all right, you can have some of the money, and then now you get all that. Plus, I mean, he made another $94 million from it.
He's got a classic car collection where every car is like worth $500,000.
He's a big Porsche guy. He's also made $100 million from touring since the 80s, and now owns $40 million in real estate. Jerry's rep, of course, says it's inaccurate, but didn't say how much Jerry actually has. His car collection alone is got to be something.
It's like Jay Leno-esque, but more.
Correct. Yeah. And all of us, that's one of those chicken or the egg things, too. It's like, well, he started investing his money in 1990. It's like, right. Well, you were a massive comedian in the 80s. You already had a ton of... It's a little easier to make those kind of commitments and make smarter investments, because you could lose some, too.
You see athletes can fail and recover.
You see athletes, especially NFL guys, lose a lot of money, because it's like, it's not always like crazy stuff. Some of it's, home investments or, this or that, but they don't have nearly the cash flow that like Jerry has. So when they lose it all, they lose it all.
And boomers who bought houses in the 80s, who are retiring right now, they're doing just fine based on their investment in real estate.
Yeah.
They bought a, $100,000 house. Jerry bought $1 million house in 1980.
Right, but the growth is the same.
So,
right?
It's even just some of the neighborhoods, you know what I mean? Like, it's tough, but I think it's hard for the average person to know what's going to happen. I mean, even places where I grew up, like some of those neighborhoods, like I have family that live in now, like those places were out, like nobody lived out there. It was so far away. Now everybody does. I mean, you could look at this area, right? I mean, Mike can attest, like Enumclaw was Enumclaw, but like, and I'm not taking a shot, but I remember like Maple Valley, Black Diamond, like these weren't very big towns. So you're like, just wait a couple years. I mean, look at South Lake Union, just in Seattle.
But Seattle has
there was
one
not
thing
much there
that most cities don't. And if you're outside of D.C., you kind of get the same thing. Seattle's one of the few places, San Francisco, where the investment keeps coming because of the companies you have.
Correct.
Boeing's going through trouble. Boeing will be fine. They're going to go through this, and Boeing will be absolutely freaking fine because they don't have a whole lot of competition for airplane manufacturers. Right. You fix the glitch. You know it's because the guys on top are being shoddy. You fix that, you're fine, right? Like you said earlier, Microsoft, Google, and these guys, I'm 24 years old. I just got out of college. We'll pay you $80,000 a year as a single dude. Right. The value here goes up. A lot of other cities, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, even Austin.
Pittsburgh's doing okay.
They're doing okay, but if you don't have new industry moving in, you don't know if you're on the bubble or if this is just the trend. Seattle is the trend. There's no bubble here. Even people say there's a bubble. I'm like, compared to the rest of the country, this bubble, it's a teeny tiny one.
Right, and Austin does well, but Austin also has a ton of people that move down there who work remotely.
Yep.
Or frankly, who are just kind of artists or do stuff like that. Like, my buddy lives down there, like his whole building, I've met a lot of people. Most of them don't have 9-to-5ers.
Exactly.
As we traditionally think about them. So that's how they can afford to live there. I mean, his one buddy does very well. Obviously, I don't know where he made his money originally, but now he like when you go see his place, it's like, what's in this room? He's like, and his radio people.
Dinosaur.
You'd be shocked when you go in there. His setup for this podcast, I'm like,
oh, really?
Jesus, man. I mean, he has this like same studio equipment we have, and he's like, oh, this is nice. Nobody recognizes this. I'm like, yeah. I know that microphone is thousands of dollars.
Standard,
yeah,
man.
but we're using a $1,000 microphone each.
What's that?
This is a $1,000 microphone.
Correct.
Yeah.
He had to say what?
Right.
It's like when I do
Sennheisers are nice.
But
when I do the
them.
podcast at home, I have a just kind of run-of-the-mill microphone I got that I just plug into my iPad or to my MacBook. That's super. It's
electro voice. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but either way, he was pretty impressed. But you're right. That's what those people are doing down there. I want to talk a little bit about March basketball. Obviously, the Cougs lost a tough one there. Damn it. And then today their coach left.
I saw that.
It's a familiar Washington State story, isn't it? I mean, Washington State as far as a whole.
Right, because Washington's AD left last week. Washington just hired a new basketball coach, but the Cougs did do well. I was giving Taryn a little bit of a hard time
Football
there.
coach at UW's gone.
It is amazing what's happened out here. And then, right, you have you also have the Seahawks who have a brand new whole coaching staff and this and that. But credit to the NCAA tournament. Like, look, when you look at the Sweet 16, I think there's one team that's a little bit of a lower ranking. It's mostly chalk, which is the term for the higher seeds win. And that's generally what's going to happen. But there were some good overtime games this weekend. Yeah. Right? We had that Cougs game. Again, sorry to the Cougs fans, but that was an awesome watch. I mean, I was fired up. Formula One was starting at 9 p.m. I was like, this is a fun Saturday. And like I said about it last week, like, you don't really have to have a rooting interest or gambling interest or anything. You just pick two teams. I mean, look, Texas A&M at Houston do nothing for me. But last night, that game's going down, and I was cheering for overtime. It went to overtime. Now, Houston ends up winning that game, and I'm like, all right, Phi Slamma Jamma, which is a reference to, like, the 80s. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just feel like this time of year, there's a lot of good games going on, and that's what makes that weekend so special. You have the Sweet 16 Thursday and Friday, and then what? You have two games, you'll have the Elite Eight this weekend, and then it's down to the Final Four, which is very important, but it'll pare down very quickly, whereas, man, just the ability, it's like a college, it's like October in the fall for me on a Saturday. You could just flip around and there's college football on. You know what I mean? So I just love flipping around. There's games that matter. Also, we were talking about it. You got Major League Baseball starting this week. Yes. I know technically the season has already started. They played a few games in Asia.
And those counted?
Yes. I don't remember. Okay. Were they in Japan or Korea?
Yeah.
They were
as
Japan.
long as they count, they count.
Yeah, so those games technically, I think, counted for those teams as the official start. And then Thursday afternoon, you'll have opening day as we know it. Everybody will be playing. They kind of stagger that now.
Yeah,
so it's kind of good or whatever. Big thing tonight: Iowa, West Virginia, women's basketball. The best player in the country taking on Miles Montgomery's Lady Mountaineers.
The Lady Mountaineers.
Do they still say that, or I sound like a sexist?
No.
They used to call them the Lady Terps.
No, I met a few.
Both did.
The Lady Mountaineers. They got their musket and their hat, their coonskin hat. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. Headlines are coming up. You're listening to The Men's Room.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house and owning it. Having an advocate who can help you navigate negotiations, timelines, inspections, and more can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
1, 2, 3, 4. Those are numbers. But you already knew that. If you want to know what number you're going to pay each month for your car, use Kelley Blue Book My Wallet on Auto Trader. They're really good at numbers. Auto Trader.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you've ever wondered if you can pull off cowboy boots, then you should pull on a pair of Tecovas. Their Western boots for men and women are made by hand in over 200 individual steps from premium bovine and exotic hides and designed to send you off in comfort and a personal style that's all yours to own. From vintage denim to more formal attire, a great pair of boots will elevate a casual look or add a refined flair that'll draw eyes and start conversations. And with other classic Tecova staples like their lineup of denim, apparel, and accessories, you can craft a look that'll put the world at your heels. Pair that with Tecova's signature out-of-the-box comfort, direct-to-consumer pricing, and free shipping and exchanges on all boots. You'll never have to step out wondering if you found your perfect pair, because Tecova's customer service is always at your service. When comfort leads, confidence follows. And Tecovas delivers both right to your door. Visit Tecovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com. And don't go gently. You'll love where you're headed.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A man on a train to Death Island finds out how the island got its name. Meanwhile, 2 women attempt a 500-mile journey in a toy car for a new world record and for fame. UFC fighter bites off more than he can chew. A man busted stealing $9K in Spam, coffee, and brew. And Walmart should have let that man with the one leg take the electric cart. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
Our top story. We got to California, where a grocery store outside of Sacramento was the target of a couple of thieves. Officers got the call that a pair of suspects walked into the store and loaded their carts full of merchandise and made their way to the parking lot without paying. They were able to load the cars and take off, but one of the two was quickly tracked down by officers. They're still looking for the other shoplifter, but were able to recover the $9,000 worth of stolen goods, which includes a ton of coffee grounds from different companies, several bottles of alcohol, including Patron, Jameson, Jack Daniels, and then for whatever reason, an entire cart full of Spam. Nothing against Spam, but it's like...
Come on.
Right? Yeah. Isn't that kind of like stealing boxes of mac and cheese? Look, there's nothing wrong with it, but
if you're going to go to jail,
point, dude.
That's all. Finally go to jail. Go for the upper stuff. Man.
Right.
Go top shelf.
You know what? Seeing the Jameson and the Jack Daniels and the Patron in there, it's like, no, yeah, I get it, dude. Yeah. I understand exactly why you're doing it. Spam? All right. That's a weird afternoon. Or a good one. Okay. Or a good one. And this was almost a marketable amount that they were stealing. Like there was like 8 handles of Jack Daniels, like 12 of Jameson. There was like 4 boxes of Patron. Like it was almost like they were trying to set up their own little stand at some point. I'd
visit it.
Sellable group. In other news, for more shoplifting, we go to Pennsylvania. Local authorities have tracked down a man after he entered a local CVS wearing a white surgical mask and a black beanie hat that was rather noticeable, and proceeded to fill several bags with, quote, various over-the-counter beauty products and medicines before making off without paying for them. Officers eventually tracked down and arrested the individual, but this was far from their first time committing this particular crime, having donned the same attire and stolen thousands of dollars worth of the products from several stores in the area, earning him the nickname the Beanie Bandit.
Congratulations.
Well, now the bandit is behind bars and faces several charges. As far as getting your criminal name, you guys want to be the bandit of anything?
I mean, it depends what it is, man. If it's badass, yes. Beanie, no.
Right?
We tried to make a deal years ago with local law enforcement. Can we name the people you're looking for?
Oh, hell yeah.
Because we'll piss them off to the point they'll get themselves
the bank robbers of the world. The people,
You're damn right.
That's where Fat Tina came from.
What?
At that time, there was some woman was robbing banks, and she hit her face, but she was girthy and gross looking. So let's call her Fat Tina. She's going to hate it. And trust me, people are so egotistical, they will break. Stop calling me Fat Tina. Right. It's like, but you're fat. What's your real name? We'll go with that.
My name's Bernice.
Well, half the time I'll get on Facebook
Bernice.
and say, I'm not fat.
Right, exactly.
Disclose our location.
Damn it. To the lovely world of the internet for a little dose of irony. Folks in Scotland couldn't help but take advantage of the humorous moment. A company van got stuck in one of the worst spots possible. Now, several cities have locations that can easily be blocked off thanks to automatic bollards, those short but sturdy poles that come up out of the ground, right, to block cars from entry. And Edinburgh is among the cities that deploy them when needed. They even went the extra mile and put up a sign that reads, quote, "Caution," really big letters, caution.
Caution.
Automatic bollards in operation. No parking. But, of course, our company rig managed to get itself hoisted into the air and inoperable thanks to said bollards. But the dose of irony comes from the company Specsavers, which also features the perfect call to action on the back window. Quote, "Book an eye test today."
Yeah.
All right.
They
You get your
say
ass
it. Yeah, know what it is, right.
Exactly. And I don't know if they just tried to drive over it when it was coming back up. I don't know if they actually did park there. But somebody's...
It was there, man. I saw the picture. Like, yeah, that's where you are.
Specsavers. Well done. And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth,
Thankfully, there's good news.
a couple lifelong friends have set out on a charity ride. The pair have known each other since kindergarten and have fond memories of riding around the neighborhood together and are turning that into a 500-mile road trip. The two young ladies are starting their voyage in Jacksonville and plan to ride the coast of Florida, ending down in Key West with a little help from one of their boyfriends, and plan on sharing the 2-month-long trip on social media. But why is it going to take 2 months to drive 500 miles, you ask, Miles?
Why is it going to take that long, Mike?
Because they're doing it in battery-powered toy cars.
Okay.
They plan to break a world record on their voyage and raise money that they'll donate to several animal charities.
That's about right. 10 hours.
Can you imagine grabbing a doggone Power Wheels?
Well, I've done that drive from Jacksonville to Key West.
What is their top speed on the Power Wheel?
Dude, it can't be
5,
more than
maybe?
No, 10.
You think they can go that fast?
8.
The average human being walks 3 miles an hour. You got to think generally.
So it's probably 5, 4.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
And as kids operating it, I'm guessing 5 or 6 miles an hour tops.
Right.
Could be wrong.
And they were saying, we estimated this is going to take us 2 months. And that probably is accounting for we have to stop in this city and charge these damn things back up.
They could road warrior it, right? Just spit some alcohol in there and it gets up to 9 miles an hour.
Damn right. Spit some alcohol in there. God, that would be miserable.
I mean, look, they're doing it for a good reason,
right.
but
This time of year in Florida, I would imagine, is nice. Probably getting up there.
Yeah. Not too bad.
Ah, damn. Men's Room IPA continues to spread about the Pacific Northwest, and good news, everybody, we are in T-Mobile Park. When you attend Mariner games and more, you can find the Men's Room IPA in the 300 level at the Good Hops beer stand.
That's why they're good.
That's right. As well as the club level, in case you ever make your way on in there, at the third base bar as well.
And if you ask for it, they might put it in more places.
Oh, possibly.
Third base bar, huh?
Third base bar.
Yeah.
You got a hand under the shirt, brother. Yeah.
Or if you can't find it, just get a trickster.
We've also got a couple people that have found it out in the area. Jackie found it at the Safeway in Silver Firs. Bill found it at Midnight Mart in Magnolia. Our buddy Chase found it all the way up at the Safeway in Bellingham. Kevin found it at the Albertsons in Marysville. There's actually an entire comprehensive list of locations that I just frickin' updated today. You can find it all at KISW.com. Excellent. Good work, Mike. Look for the bright yellow can. Men's Room Sports, let's head on down to Vegas where a UFC fighter got a big old bonus. Andre Lima had a fight Saturday night against Igor Severino that ended with Severino getting disqualified. In the middle of the battle, Lima cried out in pain to the ref whilst grappling with his opponent and accused him of biting him on his arm. After separating the two, checking the footage, and the clear bite mark on the underside of his arm, the ref ended the fight with a disqualification. As if taking it as a badge
for Holyfield.
Right? As if taking it as a badge of honor, Lima went out and got the bite mark tattooed on his arm and shared a picture of the new ink on Instagram. Dana White had already awarded him a $25,000 bonus for his, quote, bite of the night win, and reportedly doubled it after seeing the Instagram post. If you've got Ruse Plus, here's what you're going to watch tonight. You can catch the Mariners on at 6:40 taking on the San Diego Padres. Opening day, just 3 days away this Thursday at home against the Red Sox. Other than that, you've got basketball on NBA Network, and the Trailblazers are over on en route taking on the Houston Rockets, a hockey game on the NHL network, and some college basketball on ESPN and ESPN2. As far as your weather, prepare for rain, but don't count on it. Radar shows it's about a 50-50 as to whether or not the rain is actually going to fall over the next few days, but we can expect cloudy skies, light breaks of sun and or showers, and temperatures dipping into the mid-40s tonight. Tomorrow, things are looking a little bit brighter with a much smaller chance of rain and temperatures looking at the mid-50s. And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, Story Percy. We'll see you next time for the Daily Minx Morning Show. Taryn Daly and Steve Minx joining us for Sit and Spin. Kevin Deers up next.
Yes, indeed, it's all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please, do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.